had a little flicker there because I forgot what scene I required. I completely forgot that I actually possess a Hodgepodge of Hilarity scene nowadays. Anyway, there's less than I thought there was going to be. I mean, there may still be some but I decided upon one. I had 5 minutes. I gave it some thought. I figured, hey, let's have a go at this one. There's a couple of extra little bits and bobs, bits and bobbles, bits and pieces. Can I do that? Oh, yes, I can. Not that it makes any difference to anything you've seen, but I just wondered. One of the slight peculiarities of Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, which is what should appear on the screen in the not too distant future. I feel like I did I feel like I prepared this. But, there we go, I did prepare it. So yeah, if you add that should just work. I mean, there's always the pause. Oh, no, yes, it did work. Just now, I wonder. Let's. There you go. There was at least a little bit of I just wonder what's going to kind of be required. We think that worked.
Hello there.
Fuck me!
General fuck me. And it's Mr. Snazzy New Screen guy. I mean, in fairness, it's the same screen as the previous weeks. There's only really one difference, which is I got rid of the ass, the utility transfer ass, by just making the Tharsis column slightly bigger. That was the benefit. I thought ahead, yeah. On one singular occasion, every now and again, I do an intelligent, and I thought ahead, and I set it up so I can change any one of those images, and they retain that bar, so I could move any image over, and that bar would remain in its same position. Smarts. And I suppose I did, who has essentially now basically become known as Blue Boosh. I replaced the end column with what's it? Darkest Dungeon.
Hello there.
Generally no knowledge of Yu-Gi-Oh! Welcome, Mr. Butternut, welcome Mr. Blue Boosh. How are the pair of you this afternoon? Are you doing well, and are you up to something interesting? Are you recuperating from your trip? That's more specific to Mr. Blue Boosh, but I tell you what, if recently you've fallen over slightly, I bet you just fucking went, what? He couldn't possibly know I tripped yesterday. The fuck is this? But if you've had a trip, you know, welcome. But Mr. Blue Boosh, you may already know this, has had a lovely little trip, I believe. Right, anyway, I was going to do some more solo. More Han Solo. We're going to do the Absolute Monarch because it's the next one in the list. And I did start this one, but then I didn't have time to do much. So there was a nice little scenario and a nice little practice, so we're on to the duel. But I like this. I like this game for starters. So far, at least. I've not been online yet, so it's not soured me to it. But I do like the way they've done this little sort of slight story mode. So the little scenario came up with the monarchs of Yu-Gi-Oh! And now you're sort of playing a little bit of the game. And I quite like that. But it makes it easier to a certain extent.
Hello there.
Fuck me!
Not quite. General fuck me and general accident at work or home that wasn't your fault. I mean, in fairness, that does strike me as it sums up Mr. Blue Boosh's little holiday trip, because it sounded distinctly, when we were discussing it with him, it sounded a little bit like he was being kidnapped, in fairness. I've been told I'm going on holiday. It didn't necessarily sound like something he wanted to do. It's just he was told he was being driven on this trip, and therefore he's being driven on this trip. I was kidnapped, there you go. Right, so I don't know what any of these cards do, which makes this slightly awkward. At least if it was my own deck, I'd Oh, is that true? You or a joke? It's difficult to say. It's difficult to say sometimes. But if you have had an ear infection, shit, that is horrible. Absolutely horrible. I don't know what it was for me, but I had it may have been a simple ear infection, but it was bugging me for a period of days, and I don't even think it was as bad as a proper ear infection, which is why I don't necessarily think it was an ear infection, but still. They call it the Jaisal. Yeah, I'm sure they do. So I apologise, I'm going to be quite slow, because I don't know what any of the cards. It is unfortunately true. Bollocks. That's, well, if you've got bollock ache, a bollock infection is probably worse, but no, ear infection is nasty. As I say, I sort of had an oddness with my ears a little while back. As I say, I don't think it was a full-on infection, truth be told, but I couldn't say that with any certainty. Trade-in, that's, yes, right. So I did, do you know what? The first time I tried this, I actually did some clever things. I don't necessarily think I can repeat these clever things. Reinforcement of the army. That's going to be a good starting point, I think. Right, what we got? Okay, we've only got this as an option. Fair enough. Edir, the Heavenly Squire. Alright, Squire. Alright, what do? Yes, one monster with 800. Yeah, you can cascade this into being able to summon a monarch. Yes, okay, so we will do so. And then, yes, I guess. Yeah, if this is normal or special summoned, I don't have a way of special summoning it, I don't think. How was Arthur's seat? I imagine it was very, exceedingly sort of pleasant to sit upon after having climbed up a hill. It was hard work, cold, windy and painful. Oh god, you make it sound like you really enjoyed that trip. And in fairness, there's like most of your images, your photos that have cropped up, do look like you were smiling. But there was one, I think either you were caught off guard or something. But it's like, what? This song sounds like what would happen if Nightwish forgot all their songs and had to do a set. I see. I don't know of Nightwish, or at least I don't immediately recognise the name. Right, yes, I do want to activate the effect of Edir, the Heavenly Squire, because then I can summon forth Eidos, the Underworld Squire. Come forth, I want to play Hitman instead of Yu-Gi-Oh! Come, my friend. Do you cascade into something else entirely as well? What was your effect? If this card is no one set. So yes, that's the one. This is in fairness, this is what they taught me in the practice mode. Precisely what they taught me in the practice mode. Now, oh, you've already had a turn. Interesting. So technically, yeah, I think it's probably going to be worthwhile. You can tribute summon this card by tributing one. That's not right. No. Oh, right. I understand. No, right. That's separate. That's a special separate thing. Standard tribute summon for an 8-star monster is 2 monsters. So come forth, Enter the Heavenly Monarch. You can send 2 Monarch spell trap cards with different names from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon a monster. Oh, but return it to the hand. Okay. Well, yeah, that's probably still worth it. Do a Blue Eyes White Dragon! Oh, funny enough, I can technically do a Blue Eyes White Dragon because I do have... When I was asked, what do you want as your starting deck, my first instinct was, yeah, I'm having the Blue Eyes. So I do have, as my own deck, I do have a Blue Eyes deck. Okay, so this one. When this card is tribute summoned, so this doesn't count for that, so I don't know if it really makes much difference, because I'm just using it as a sort of... I suppose arguably next turn I'll want a good one, but... Shall we just have, I don't know... Erebus. You can send 2 Monarch spell trap cards, and if you do, shuffle 1 card from your opponent's hand. No. Don't you look at your opponent's hand and discard 1 card? Ooh, that's not bad. But Frost Monarch. Well, actually, he's now Mobius the Mega Monarch. Once Upon a Time, I'm fairly certain. And actually, I think... No, I'm thinking of a different card. This is a different card. I'm thinking of Mobius the Frost Monarch, which is the lesser version. Anyway, Zaborg the Mega Monarch. That'll do. It'll do. I'll be faffing all day trying to figure out the best one. Is that a rabbit in a motorcycle helmet? Yes, it is. Also, I've missed several messages. Okay, let's see. Song, we dealt with. Windy, dealt with. I last climbed it when I was 15 or 16, and that sounds about right from what I remember. Female-fronted operatic symphonic band, metal. I see. They did cover of Phantom of the Opera. The Phantom of the Opera is here. Inside my mind. That kind of sets the scene. And then do a Blue Eyes White Dragon. I might do at some point. Is that a rabbit in a motorcycle helmet? Hell yeah, it's a rabbit in a motorcycle helmet. Now, I'm not sure I like or approve of the use of this word, but it's my mate. Now, I realise, technically, and even more so being British perhaps, that mate is just a friend, of course. Alright, mate? But, I don't know, there's something about it being a monster and them sort of literally sort of coming out with, this is your mate. It does sound a bit seedy, like I've been fucking the motorcycle rabbit helmet. But, you know, one hopes that's not true. From your hand to the graveyard, draw 2 cards. Oh, yeah. I don't really need that at the moment. I've got a lot of shit on the field. So let's just go battle. And hope to God this does not have a nasty trap that's going to kill me. Excellent. If they didn't have a nasty trap that's going to backfire on me. But this is... I mentioned this in the Discord. This I absolutely fucking love. You can see here, this is full health arena. And then, because they've been damaged, you can see the lava's become more flowing, the crack in the ground. It's absolutely fantastic. And then return it to the hand, Daredevil will be pissed, indeed. And then finally, hello, Mr. Chester Phoenix. How are you, and how are you doing is the same question. Are you up to anything interesting? That goes for Mr. Can't Sleep Must Paint as well. And anybody else who fancies answering the question, how are you and how are you doings? We've had a baseline from Mr. Buttonut and Mr. Baboosh, but feel free to update as required. Come on. Updates every 5 minutes. And don't stick your cock in a motorcycle. No, that's not a good idea. Especially if you're talking about the wheel, because that would just constant unending pain and suffering if you just stick your dick in a wheel. Right, okay, so this one I can tribute summon that in order to get it on, but I don't want to. So banish 3 or 6 random face-down cards from your extra deck. I mean, draw 1 card for every 3 cards banished, I see. That, I don't know if I like that. I don't know how much I need my extra deck, truth be told. I mean, that's not a very good card, in fairness. I do wonder if this extra deck has been designed for you to just sacrifice them to that card. 5-headed Link Dragon, not quite so much, although, having said that... Oh, I suppose surrounded using Dark, Earth, Water, Fire and Wind, so yeah, that makes a degree of sense to the Monarchs, because they are elemental. But yeah, okay, we'll use the Pot of Extravagance. I mean, arguably, I might be able to just kill the guy. We'll get 2 cards. The Monarch Storm. If you would tribute a monster for tribute summon, you can tribute 1 monster your opponent controls. That's not as helpful as I thought. No. No, I need a single tribute. Although, having said that, calculations time. Yeah. I'm going to take a chance and do that. So... Wait. Oh, right. Okay. I want to summon by the effect of Zaborg. No. By a standard tribute summon, which will allow me to use your monster and sacrifice my monster. However, that leaves you with no monsters and me with a monster, dependent on what that trap is. Oh, what? Select card to destroy. Have I done a boo-boo? I think I've done a boo-boo. Apparently I've done a boo-boo. Yes, that's not a you can do it, that's a you have to do it. I've done a boo-boo. So, I just destroyed my own monster. Excellent. And now, lots of extra monsters. Yep. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that was a thing at all. So, you've just finished playing some Smite. I did spot that. Funny enough. When it, you know, it pops up in the Discord, of course. Now, okay. Well, we can at least defend ourselves by restoring one of my monsters. So, come back, Zaborg. Although, having said that, obviously it's weakened, so... And that shouldn't trigger its effect now. I don't think we can do that again. Yes, okay. The equipped monster can be treated as 2 tribute monsters. Well, that's something, I suppose. Right, we'll end and see what they're doing. You're full of cold. That is unfortunate. Doing the washing up and making burgers. Ooh, delicious. That's unfortunate. That's tricky. He is nasty and he's gonna beat me. He's gonna give me beatings. Oh dear, I think I may lose this now. So the answer to the question, did you just throw them?
Who's sneaking about?
Yes, you're apparently sneaking about. What are you doing sneaking about, you naughty sneak? Escalation of the Monarchs. Once per turn during your opponent's main phase or your opponent's battle phase, you can... It disappeared. Immediately after this effect resolves, tribute summon 1 monster. Send 1 monarch from your hand to the graveyard. Draw 2 cards. Yes, I kind of sort of need to do that, because otherwise I'm going to struggle. Having to entertain Americans, I see. That is unfortunate. Lurgy infections and no legs. The chat is zombies. Yes. Colds and ear infections, please appreciate your diseased audience. Yes, apparently. Apparently everybody's falling apart. Tell them about free healthcare. I'll tell them about free healthcare for a price. If you pay me a certain price, I will give you information. Right, okay, so that, I think... No, I kind of want that. I think it's going to be this one. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be helpful. Not as much as I think the other one will be. Okay, so let us see. Now let's summon a thing to the field. It doesn't really matter what. Get on this field. And now we summon Eric. No, it's Erebus. You can send 2 Monarch spell trap cards. This is a you can, so it's not going to destroy itself this time. With different names of the hand of the grave from your hand and or deck. Okay, and if you do, shuffle 1 card from your opponent's hand, graveyard, or their side of the field into the deck. Or their side of the field. That's what you want. God, they're so complicated, some of these cards now. Have you tried summoning Exodia? I hear that's a good trick. It is a very good trick if you can do it. In fairness, they did do sort of, you must tribute 2, well, theoretically I don't have to tribute 2, because that currently resembles 2, despite being 1. Excellent. I am Erebus. No, I am Erebus. Yes, I would like to activate the effect of Erebus. Erebus. How much hair is on a hairy bus? I do not know. Oh, shit, that's the one in my hand. I should have paid more attention. Shuffle 1 card from your opponent's hand into the deck. Now, hang on, right, hang on. From your... no, hang on. If you do, shuffle 1 card from your opponent's hand, graveyard, or their side of the field. So... no? Shit. Oh, no, yes. Okay, no, right, yes. That. Go away. Excellent. Marvellous. Right. We've not quite got the win, because unfortunately he's going to hold on just that little bit. Tiniest amount of bloody... oh, unless that's got some... you take no battle damage, dickhead. Exodia? That's not possible. No one's been able to summon him. Ah, yes, but Mr. Kyber underestimated the power of the Heart of the Gods. And, you know, the power of cheating. Ow! Little shitty spell striker. How dare you be a penis in my domain. Laser, the Mega Monarch. Well, I must admit, I'm tempted to trade him in, but we'll see. Target one card on the field and one card in either player's graveyard. Right. This card was win and place the first target on the top of the deck. No, I think that would be a bad decision. So, do you know what? You're going to be sacrificed for cards in my hand, please. No, apparently I can't do that. Fine, I can't do that. Fine. Goddamn spell strikers beating me again. Have no backup, which means Erebus is alone, and he's going to try to beat you down. Beat me to the cheating part, yeah. It was quite amusing, actually. I think I've referred to this video previously, but nonetheless, I did see a sort of... I did see someone... Oh, I can just attack. I didn't realise he'd left his field wide open. Suffer my direct attack. Boom. There we go. Overly dramatic, but that's the way I like it. But yeah, it was a sleight of hand expert, and he did do, you know... It's basically the same trick as that sort of find 4 aces type deal. You know, here's 5 pieces of Exodia, and look, they go in the deck. They get shuffled. Oh, look, the shuffling. Oh, such immense shuffling, and bam, 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 bam. And lo and behold, I've dealt myself the 5 parts of Exodia. But it was pleasant to see it be a Yu-Gi-Oh card and not a regular deck of cards. It was quite fun. Right, so there's the goal. So I guess we might as well go up to the locked area, dependent on... Oh, here we go. Dark Orb for unlocking locked chapters in solo mode. Well, with a bit of luck, we can unlock that solo thing then. No. No, I can't. You do not have enough minerals. Well, we've reached our goal, then, it would seem. Scenario appearance. Oh, good lord. Scenario appearance card, yes. Yes. Excellent. And I've got the structure deck, Emergence of the Monarchs, which I must admit is complicated. I think I'm the advances of the monarchs were not welcome. Please go away, sir. I'm not interested in you making advances to me, sir. Who embody the very concept of destruction continue. How many countless worlds must they have destroyed? Lightning storms, blizzards, lava, and seismic catastrophe. All manners of destruction assail the world. As they advance, the monarchs grow ever stronger, perpetually pushing the boundaries of destruction. Their power defiles all matter equally. There is no way to discern whether or not the monarchs are aware of what they destroy. They advance thoroughly, expunging all that enters their field of vision, no matter the scenery. However, in a land reduced to rubble, from the heavens descended a creator, Aether, the heavenly monarch. A saviour descended as if a miracle to a land awaiting its destruction. Whether this creator could be counted as one of the monarchs is unknown. The ground in which the creator has landed slowly begins to revive. A day will surely come when this land, regenerated by the creator, will be destroyed again. Nonetheless, with no reward, Aether, the heavenly monarch, fills this ruined world with the light of rebirth. Yes. Yay, I've done the thing. I was expecting to do more, but oh well. Use a tribute summon to unleash the power of the level 6 monarchs. It is important to have a monster to tribute for double summon and reinforce truth. Yes. Oh, there we go. These ones actually have got the level 6s. Which means that is Mobius the Frost Monarch, I believe. And some of the others I can't remember. For some reason, Mobius the Frost Monarch is the one that really sticks in my brain. I found a new card pack. Lovely jubbly. Do I want to go... Are you sure you want to go to the store? I didn't ask to go to the store in the first place, but I mean, fair enough. I'll go to the bloody store if you're offering, I suppose. Ooh, look at Element Saber. Sexy. Do I want a pack? I mean, I suppose I should get some packs, but I don't know if I want a pack. I haven't really got a desire or clue as to what I plan on sort of building. I'd want to figure out the cards I want to build, and then I want to figure out which packs I want to spend money on. I mean, in fairness, probably that one. It's got a blue eyes on the front. And anything with a blue eyes on the front has to be a good one. But then again, I do quite like having some of the other decks. My focus is usually blue eyes, because, I mean, blue eyes. But, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say no. Oh, accessories. Ancient gear something. What are you? I'm hoping I'm not buying it. No, we're fine. Ancient gear wyvern. Alright, mate, what is it? What is, mate? Yeah, what is, mate? What you want? What is it, mate? Oh, Dark Magician. Oh, yeah. Oh, and you can purchase dual fields. That's quite nice. The foreign capital, the volcano we've seen. That's nice. Gear Town. That'd be perfect if I wanted to build an ancient gear golem deck. But I don't have any real urge to. A ritual cage. That'd be an Alexis deck. Trishula! Trish. Right, Trish. Yeah, you're doing well, Trish. Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. Because why not? Absolutely, why not? Just all of the words, all of the time. So I do find it quite entertaining that a lot of these Japanese things do tend to throw a lot of words at things. And this one, the most recent series, as far as I'm aware, the most recent series of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is very much along those lines, because it's just, you know, it's called Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains. V-Rains, if you were wondering the spelling, but that actually is an acronym that goes into its Yu-Gi-Oh! Virtual Reality Artificial Intelligence Network Systems. And it really did feel like, you know, they're just throwing words. They're throwing so many words. But there you go. I mean, I can't not have the Dark Magician as my mate. So I can't remember how you deal with that. Is it up here? Where do you deal with your mate? Get rid of that fucking shithead. Fucking who wants a rabbit when you've got the option? I also have the option of a Sahagin, or Sangan, sorry, not Sat. So I'm thinking of Final Fantasy. But yeah, I mean, obviously, a bit of a mishmash, obviously, with the two opposing ends, but I think without a doubt, bloody Dark Magician's the one to go for. Oh, I tell you what, we'll do a couple more sort of. We'll do a little bit more of this. Oh, hello! Ooh, yay! I didn't. Oh, the steam dinosaurs of Uncharted Lands. Sounds fascinating. Digital bugs in cyberspace. I wonder if that's. Yeah, do you know what? That is the deck that was just on the way in when I sort of stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh! The digital bugs for Xyz summons. Because you would think that was XYZ summons. It's not. It's Xyz. For anybody unaware, XYZ is pronounced Xyz. The Pyroxene Warriors. Oh, interesting. Gem Knights. I was going to say, it's almost a shame because the ones I loved here were to do with gems would be the Crystal Beasts, I suppose, which was Ruby Carbuncle and other such Topaz Tiger. That was a fantastic one. Anyway, the Elemental Lords. Go on, let's have a look on the Elemental Lords. Let's see what we can do in the Elemental Lords. So I get 3 lots of Element Saber. Hello! Do. The Warriors of the 6 Elemental Lords. The world is comprised of 6 elements. Earth, water, fire, wind, light and darkness. The elements were brought to Earth by 6 elemental lords. The world is at peace as long as the 6 elements are in equilibrium. However, When that balance is disturbed, the elemental lords appear. When the elemental lords' physical forms have increased in density enough to be seen by humans, disaster occurs. The elemental lords have appeared numerous times, causing natural disasters throughout the world. The ancients built temples to calm these recurring natural disasters. People prayed continually, but the elemental lords did not possess the capacity to answer those prayers. However, the people's desperate prayers would be answered, miraculously after hundreds of years. Another power that had nothing to do with the elemental lords may have taken pity on them. It's anime girls! Oh, and an anime boy. At least they've made it sort of fairly reasonable. It's anime girls and anime boys. I thought it was just exclusively going to be anime girls. But no, there you go. They were called Element Saber. They served the element lords and maintained order over the elements. Okay. What is the I suppose the practice is just how you use these guys, or the approximate theory behind how you use these guys. Let's find out what you were supposed to do with these guys. That was a intense noise at the end there. That's much better than the bloody rabbit. Element Saber monsters have effects that allow their attributes to be changed while they are in the graveyard. While you have fight, it's weird. I don't know if I like it. Oh, I see. Yeah, you changed that earth stuff. Oh dear, this is gonna get complicated for my brain. To put it in context, the time period where I think I really enjoyed and mastered playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Was the time period where you had a shed load of warriors that could be equipped with a shed load of things, and also you'd work to try and get the bouncing thing that made you invulnerable. There was a certain combo where if you summoned two of the same monster, they would basically go, no, you have to attack me, but you have to attack me, but you have to attack me. No, you have to attack me, but they have to attack me first. But no, they have to attack me first. And that basically locked it into a infinite loop that meant the opponent couldn't attack you at all, which was quite satisfying. But yeah, it was a very simple thing. You basically filled the rest of your deck with a load of basically four-star monsters at 1900 attack points, and then you had a shed load of equip cards, and that's all you had to really concentrate on: getting your 4-star monster out and then equipping a bunch. The Chuckle Brothers defense, exactly. To me, to you, to me, to you. That's the one. Absolutely. I've never 100% considered it to be the Chuckle Brothers defense, but yes, you are 100% correct on that assessment. Okay, so what? Oh, Palace of the Elemental Lords. So is this going to be... This looks to be like just complicated standard summoning, perhaps, rather than other such things. So you want me to play this. Now, let's try and understand why before just playing it. All monsters you control... Oh, it's a field spell, so it's just good. You can add one Element Saber monster from your deck to your hand, but skip the battle phase with your next turn. That doesn't sound like a great thing, but I'm assuming you're going to teach me why it's a good thing. Once per turn. I suppose that's the other thing. Mine's a very simplistic method, which is I attack you now. There's no esoteric sort of wildness of I'm going to do chains of cards. No, it's I'm placing monsters on the field. Those monsters are attacking you, which unfortunately means I'm very, very, very easy to counter. Okay, add Element Saber Le Puile Man to your hand using the effect of Palace of the Elemental Lords. Ah, well. Effect activation. And you want me to do that one. What if I want to do that one? The game says no. No. You apply this card. You have to have Le Poulet. You cannot have anything else. Now, what would you like me to do? Effect. The effect of Le Poulet does. Okay. Now, why send 2 other monsters from your hand to the graveyard. Well, that's not going to help me. Special summon this card from your hand. You can only use... Is there a reason why this one? You can send 1 Element Saber monster from your hand to your graveyard. Send 1 Element Saber or Element Saber Elemental Lord monster. No, I can't see. Interesting. I don't have 2 other monsters from my hand to the graveyard. Oh, but that's a general effect. Okay. So why am I able to special summon it? Now I'm confused. I mean, I guess I'll. No, that is the sentence. Sorry, confusing myself now. You can send 2 other monsters from your hand to the graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand. Yeah. Now I don't have 2 others, so I don't know where you're getting that idea from. You can add 1 No, alright, fine. I'll do it. I don't believe it's going to work, but I'll do it. Select the card to send to the graveyard. These aren't in my hand. You do know this, don't you, Game? You can send 1 Element Saber monster from your hand to the graveyard. No, I don't think that counts. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. No, okay. Okay, you send that one as well. So, is that part of this then? Once per turn, Element Saber monster in your hand or field would send a card from the hand to the graveyard to activate an effect. You can send that many Element Saber monsters from your deck to the graveyard instead. I found it. I feel justified in trying to find why I was able to do all of these things by having found it. Okay. Depending on the attribute of the Element Sabers sent to your graveyard, Element Saber Luftpwille Mana activates powerful effects that protect you and your monsters when special summoned. Yes, I read that. It's complicated again. This is why I don't really play Yu-Gi-Oh! In real life anymore. Not that I really had much of a play of Yu-Gi-Oh! In real life. I had like 3-4 tournament things before I just went, yeah, I don't think this is for me, is it? Because I'd just get whooped by people who have kept up with the meta and stuff. I just wanted to go, blue eyes, yay! And they just ended up going, and I play 600 cards all at once. I know it's only a 40 card limit, but I've got 600 in the backup deck of 1001 cards just thrown in your face, and guess what? With that many cards thrown in your face, I win. Anyway, so, has an effect that increases your monster's attack and defense, depending on the number of different attributes and monsters in the graveyard. If you want, I can throw my code thing in here so you can add me, but, I mean, you can feel free to. I don't know where or how to add, but we'll figure it out. There are currently 2 Element Saber Nalus. Water monsters in the graveyard. Activate the effect of Element Saber Nalu and change its attribute. Right, in what? Right, so they're going to tell me, but I'm wondering if I can figure it out for myself. Oh, I see. What I want to just do is change one of them to any other element. It doesn't matter which element. I mean, I'm assuming they're going to sort of push me to choose one, but it's basically as long as they're differing. Oh no, they're not pushing me to choose one, are they? Yeah, because I think it doesn't matter as long as they are different. I don't have even a mildly viable deck because right as this game came out, I got the Rona. Ah, shite. I have technically been there, done that, so you know I've been there, done that. Bought the T-shirt, but it's not pleasant. So, now summon Elemental Saber, Element Saber Malo as well, and attack with your 2 powered-up monsters. I will do so. Come forth, Malo! And now I will attack. It doesn't actually matter, but I always like to attack with the lower damaging one just in case. You never know. They might decide to let that one slide and you'll get a cheeky bit of damage through. if they've got a trap. They didn't have a trap, and this is practice, so you do as you're told and you get through it. But, you know, I like the idea of thinking about these things, I know. You like the idea of thinking? Well, I don't fully like the idea of thinking, don't get me wrong. I'm not, like, into the idea of thinking. Yes, 3 days of basic cold stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much what I ended up with. Well, I think I was probably close to 4 or 5, but... I kind of know it's the after effects that seem to have caught me. Shortly after my sort of days of isolation, I ended up getting sort of... I now have a fairly permanent cough, which is inconvenient to say the least. Well, there you go. Foolish Burial. Send 1 monster from your deck to the graveyard. That might be quite useful at some point, but not 100% sure right now. You can send 1 Element Saber monster from your hand to the graveyard. I don't know how useful that would be. Problem is, it screwed up my throat something awful. Yep. I must admit, that's worse than I got it. Swallowing even a tiny bit of water felt like trying to eat rust snails. That is, yeah, that is worse than anything I had, I think. Once per turn, well, I could defend myself at least. When a spell trap card is activated, you can send 1 Element Saber monster from your hand to the graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Okay, that's not a terrible one. Yeah, okay. Let's just set the bottomless trap hole, because I think that's just good to have on the field. By having exactly 5... Ooh! Oh, this is interesting. I actually quite like... I think I'm beginning to get the understanding of this. And I quite like it. Not much of a cough here, though. Weird, just a complete inability to eat or drink. That is nasty. I haven't been that dehydrated in years. No. I must admit, I usually run at least slightly dehydrated at all times, I think, unfortunately. Over the years, I've tried to get a bit better at the idea of actually, you know, hydrating myself appropriately, but I swear I'm only about half hour away from dehydration at any given time. Ouch. Okay. So, can we just backtrack on what happened? Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Oh, yes, no, yep, I do want to draw the card. Don't worry, game, don't worry, don't fucking panic. Only 1500, only... I don't seem to have much in the way of good options here. Fuck yeah. There's more high job. Very good. There we go, I've had a little sip. Right, I don't know. Here's the honest truth, I don't know what to do. So what are you? You are currently Earth, which in fairness would allow me to do Grand Soil, so until I get 5 in the graveyard... I mean, I suppose I could foolishly bury 1, but it doesn't necessarily go in it. Probably go through at least 3 large cups of ice water a day normally. Yeah. See, I've gotten better. I do try to sort of... I now go, right, I'm having a mid-morning drink, mid-afternoon drink, and then sort of drinks with meals throughout the day. So I've gotten better, but once upon a time I barely drank anything. Once per turn you can send 1 Element Saber monster from your hand to the graveyard. Add 1 Element Saber or Element Lord monster from your deck to your hand, except Makani. If this card is in the graveyard, that appears to be sort of universal for all of these Element Sabers. But yeah, so once per turn you can send 1 element. So I'm going to end up taking a bit of damage, perhaps, but it might be worthwhile. Yeah, play a sort of slightly long game by sending you to the graveyard, getting me a second card in the graveyard, in order to then hopefully try and get something I might be able to use. Okay, well, again, I could go defensive next turn, perhaps. But yeah, we've got 2 in the graveyard at the moment. That's going to probably come in at the graveyard. We've got Foolish Burial to try and get a 5th in the graveyard if need be, but weirdly, I think at this point we're sort of looking for the Pyro Rex or the Grand Soil. I don't know how many of those can I activate. Ouch. That hurt. I didn't need that in my life. No siree. A pot of extravagance. Well, again, I feel like you've possibly... Yeah, I think the whole point of the extra deck here... Because this doesn't feel like it has much to do with the extra deck, but there you go. I'll just leave it on the desk next to the mutant. It inevitably disappears. That's what I've started doing. So, pot of extravagance. Yeah, I think we can probably afford to pot of extravagance. Extravagantly grow some pot. And now, here we go. The palace is going to help me out significantly. Now, Mechani, no. But if we do... Yeah, if we set you, that should help me out a little bit. And now here, let's try and make sure. So, we currently have Earth, Water, Wind, and a spell card. So, we've got Max. We've got Max. Excellent. So, actually, I should have possibly... Now, I don't need a battle phase, interestingly enough. So, by 200. So, I'm getting 600 out of that, aren't I? So, I'm going to activate the effect to get another one of these in my hand. Who's going to be the strongest attacker? Oh, definitely you, I think. Unless I went for this one, but I suppose actually that might not be terrible. But that would definitely allow me to summon. If the opponent does manage to destroy that again, which they might do, so I think we'll bring Dark Malehu. And as I say, they're already differing elements, so at the moment I think that's probably fine. And then we go end there. Still a little sore and tired, but I've been chugging the last 24 hours or so. That's good. Quite unfortunate timing, though. I have a bunch of random cards and some of the solo stuff done, but haven't felt like even attempting to round out a deck. No, well, I haven't even had the excuse of being ill. And I don't fancy trying to figure out a proper deck. Because as I was, I'm so out of my depth on, what is considered a proper deck nowadays. Your opponent cannot target Palace of Lords you control with card effects. Okay, that's probably well worth setting in place for the future. And now let's summon this bad boy to the field. You are spectacular. Element saver from your hand to the graveyard, then target one face-up monster on the field, change it to face-down defense position. Is that going to actually help me in any fashion? Not against the element saver you've got, but it might... I mean, no, is the answer. No. No, I don't think that's going to help me. I could do it to just get another creature in my graveyard, but I don't know if that's going to be hugely worthwhile. Because I could foolishly bury something in the graveyard. How far are we here? So we've got Earth. Yeah, we've got 2 Earths now. So if I foolishly buried... No, I suppose it depends on... Let's try doing you... Oh, well, no, you're already Earth, aren't you? Well, alright, I'll tell you what. Let's try doing you to fire. No? No. Okay, that's made you stronger, which is good. But if I did want to try and change them all... Let's not do the changing all to try and summon a thing just yet. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, what? I pushed the wrong button? Question mark? No, we don't need either of those. At the moment, anyway. Draw phase. Harpy's Feather Duster. Well, you don't have any spells at the moment, so we're not too fussed about that. You, I think we can get away with summoning. Right, so battle phase. Excellent. Unless, did we... Oh, I see. I think that's gone back to Earth. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Right. Okay, that's fine. I've slightly diminished my attack, but it's fine. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. All we want to do is slap the tits off of you because you've offended me. Most of your pulls were useless or very specific to some dumb archetype. That's fair. That's what usually happens, yeah. I did pull a Feather Duster from a Master Pack, though. That was pretty hype. A Feather Duster is always good. There are some cards that are just universally decent, I suppose. Right, at this point, let's try and see, can we... Okay, so this is a special summon, isn't it? Yes, so what I'm going to do... From your hand to the graveyard. No, I don't want to do that. I just want to do a regular tribute summon. Tribute summon you. Summon you to the field. And now what we want to do is you will become fire. No to that. And you are going to become fire. And then no to you. And then you will become fire as well. Now, finally, I am making my card weaker, but I'm also summoning a big thing, so you become fire. No, I think we need one more. So you become fire. Nope. Come forth, Pyrorex, the Elemental Lord. Whoosh. What is your effect? I didn't really pay attention. You can target one monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and if you do, both players take damage equal to half the original attack points. Well, I don't really need to do that. Because, yeah, both players taking damage is not what I would ideally want in my life. But what I do want in my life is you to strike forth, smite the monster, and now you attack their life points directly, and then finally Pyrorex, the Elemental Lord of Fire. Kill them. End their suffering. Am I the bad guy of Yu-Gi-Oh? Yes. You're the bad guy of everything. True. A fire orb. What do I need for this locked doodah? Oh, I need light. I'm guessing is light orbs. So we've reached our goal, and we get ourselves Umbrambarish. I'm Umbrambarish. I'm Lord of Elements. I found my bra's too tight. Bra? Yes. My rage is on bra. I don't know. I'm trying to make a funny. It didn't work. It's fine. The Element Saber now protect the temples which pilgrims no longer visit, and day to day they manage the elements that comprise the world to not flare out of control. Let's say, for example, the element of fire flares up. The Element Saber would enhance the power of the water element. It would rain throughout the land, extinguishing the flames. When one element gets out of hand, the forces of the opposite element are increased, restoring the balance. The Element Sabers inherit only a fraction of the Elemental Lord's authority and cannot exercise all their power, nor should that power make them feel as if they are gods. Oh, it's a scythe. I was wondering precisely what his weapon was, because I was just looking at that side. And yeah, the mouse does work on this. I was just looking at that side, going, that's a peculiar looking weapon. It was only a moment or two later I realised that the entirety of the weapon goes across the other side. And his one's quite fascinating as well. I think it's meant to be sort of like a halberd, but he's got a very peculiar grip on his shaft there. A very unorthodox grip on the shaft. But I think ultimately it's a halberd, but I might be wrong. They use their ability to command, train and do right. Training never ends for the Element Sabers. I must admit, I wasn't too fussed about the Monarchs. They were just a bit like, eh. But I do quite like the Element Sabers. I find that to be an interesting archetype. The idea of being able to special summon something big by changing stuff in your graveyard is quite nice. I quite like that. I think that's a good idea. Now, am I allowed to do this next one? Oh, I am allowed to do this next one. Lovely jubbly. I don't know if I want to do this next one. Could do something else. We've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For about an hour now. So, might do something else. Demise, King of Armageddon, and Ruin, Queen of Oblivion, who apply their destruction with different effects. Draw a black curtain on the world with their powers of destruction. Go on, we'll do one more. We'll do one more. But my deck's probably going to be focused around Blue Eyes if I make a sort of proper deck. I say proper deck, I mean, if I make a deck that pleases me, it will be Blue Eyes based. So Ritual Forgone. What is that? Special summon one ritual monster from your hand. I see. Have you opened any card packs? No, I have not. Because as I was saying earlier, I don't really have much in the way of a plan. And I feel like I want to get a plan and then go after the card packs that feature that plan. So I want to wait and see what I actually desire. When a world is about to perish, it is seen on its way by two beings. The first is a red being that envelops in golden light and draws the curtains on the world. She is an androgynous goddess garbed in red robes. She is a god with no believers, that's only natural. A world visited by the goddess. Ruin is on the path to destruction. Any intelligent life that would believe in and worship that god would soon cease to exist. The second is a black being that envelops the world in blue flames which pulverizes the earth. A towering, omnipotent demon king adorned in black armor. He is a king with no vassals. That's only natural. A world visited by the demon king Demise will soon meet its end. Those who would respect and serve that king would soon have their very lives destroyed. Packs work in a kind of weird way, I see. There's a couple of special pulls that I would absolutely recommend getting. It's a 10 pull plus generic staple that's just useful, I see. But I'm assuming they still have some level of theming around the packs, do they not? I.e., you know, certain cards appear in certain packs. Which means I do still want sort of, if I plan on getting, you know, something specific to a Blue Eyes deck, I'd want to find it and then purchase those packs. Demise and Ruin. Ritual monsters can all be bought out with the ritual spell End of the World. Demise allows you to pay life points to destroy all other cards on the field except itself, and Ruin has the ability to make another attack once it destroys an opponent's monster in battle. Pick which one to ritual summon by taking into consideration what's on your opponent's field, and you could deal a ton of devastating damage. Outside of that, your only real option is the Master Set. It has every card in it. Oh, okay, that might be quite good, I suppose. Hiya! End of the World! Well, we've got the Cycle of the World as well, so you've drawn End of the World. Activate End of the World and ritual summon Ruin, Queen of Oblivion. If you pull an SR or UR, you unlock the theme pack that the card comes from. Oh, I see. Intriguing. Anyway, I suppose End of the World. It's the end of the world as we know it. Come forth, Queen of Oblivion. Tribute, yes. Oh, that's why I've got two of them. I did wonder. Select a position. Yeah, I've selected a position. Get in. Get in. Oh, here we go. This is the first time I've seen the ritual summon animation. I quite like that. Do-do-do-do-do. You've successfully summoned Ruin, Queen of Oblivion. Destroys an opponent's monster in battle. It can attack again. Now attack your opponent's monster. If you insist, I will. But I'm curious, why do I have this? I'm assuming... Oh, interesting. It is just a second version of the... tribute summon. You must also tribute monsters from your field. Well, that's intriguing. Because the other one was standard ritual, which is hand or field. Okay, interesting. So there's a difference. During a main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can shuffle this card into the deck, add one End of the World. I see. Okay. So I think what they're going to do is sort of push me to re-summon, perhaps. I don't know. I'll have to go have a look. So activate the Queen's ability and attack again. Yes, please. She strikes once more. Your oblivion is here. You inflicted great damage on your opponent. Now end your turn. Okay. Are you going to somehow like magically summon... I wonder if it's going to be like sheep or something. One of the ones that sort of... Oh, Swords of Revealing Light! Oh, I suppose that... Yeah, okay. That does put forth a problem that Demise, King of Armageddon, can solve. You cannot attack right now because your opponent's Swords of Revealing Light! Activate the Cycle of the World and ritual summon Demise, King of Armageddon. I suppose actually, I don't have to worry about the idea of main phase shuffling. I can just use it to summon forth my big boy. My big boy, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when I've come for you, big boy? So if you pull a BE alternative White Dragon, you can get a pack that will be full of Blue Eyes cards. Okay. That's quite nice. I definitely recommend getting the limited ones and hoping those 30 pulls get some good sets to check out. Yes. Oh, by paying 2,000, Demise will destroy everything. I will destroy your Swords of Revealing Light, for they are meaningless to the King of Armageddon. And now it is time for me to battle you by crushing your soul. Be sent to the Shadow Realm, bitch. And face Armageddon. It's time to do. It's time to do. A lot of Dark Orbs. We could go back and deal with the Monarch's secret doings if we particularly wanted to. As I say, I might put it away after I've done this one. Well, I might do a couple of card balls. Here we go again. You can also use gems to buy the season pass, which offers good rewards. Will eventually pay for itself, but only increases with PvP battles. Yeah, I don't know how into the idea of PvP battles I'm going to be at this point, so we shall work on sure. Demise, the King of Armageddon. Armageddon! It's the King of Armageddon! Oh no! Why is it the King of Armageddon? Destroy all spell and trap cards. Well, that could be useful, but I've got other plans potentially. Breaking the world. You can target one ritual monster you control. Show one ritual monster. Oh, I don't actually control any at the moment, do I? Wait, what? No, yeah. Ooh, ooh. Oh, I don't think that's going to be helpful. During your main phase, that's where we are, aren't we? Except the turn this card was sent. Oh, I see. It has to be sent to the graveyard. Okay. I'm not entirely sure. I don't. Oh, I see. This is a field spell. Okay, that's why I can activate it. Once per turn, you can target one ritual monster you control. Well, I don't control any at the moment. This is the problem I'm having right now. I don't actually have the ability or capacity to summon one of my bloody things. Let's just read the rest of this text, see if it's going to help me. Show one no, that's not going to help me. I don't think any of these cards help me. Which means I think I'm going to just take a shed-load of damage. Yeah. I think that means I have to have one on the field. And that's not going to make much difference to this current situation. I'm willing to be proven wrong, but I'm not entirely convinced I had any moves there. So, just beatings, I suppose, for now. Just beatings. I'm sorry, Daddy. I don't want any more. Really could do with the world ending, please. I mean, that's certainly not a terrible option. I think I'm probably going to have to do it, because it gets rid of them. which I think is what we need at this point. So, Regiki! You get Regiki! Eh, you get Regiki! Good South African. I do not know why. But apparently Regiki is the South African way of destroying monsters. Call of the Bloody Haunted. I should have used that bloody Harpy's Feather Duster. I bloody knew it! I thought to myself, I should use my Harpy's Feather Duster and completely clear his fucking field, but I didn't think you'd have Call of the fucking Haunted, did I? Well, we're holding on, but you never mind. I feel slightly besmirched that... I just feel besmirched. I feel generally and wholeheartedly besmirched by that. Partly because that first hand was garbage, and secondly because he had the two perfect cards to completely eliminate my life points by a mathematical exactness. That's the other part I'm slightly besmirched by. I cannot fathom how he had the capacity to do it by a mathematical... Fuck me. You cannot draw any cards by card effects. Yeah, after this I can't draw any. So I'm diddled again. I'm diddled again! This is the problem with a deck like this, I think. I haven't got a way of starting it, and that kind of scuppers everything. If there was more ways to get it started, I think we'd be slightly better off, but I get the impression they're using the same deck, and I might just be getting shit out of luck, which is alarming, frankly. The idea that I am just getting shit out of luck every single time. But there you go. Maybe I'm just not seeing an option that is obvious. Okay, the equipped monster becomes the revealed monster's level. No, I don't think that's going to be useful, is it? I'll give it a quick reread. The equipped monster becomes the revealed monster's level until the end of this turn, even if the card leaves the field. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can reveal one ritual monster in your hand. The equipped monster... Oh, yeah, it's an equipped spell. That's where my confusion is lying. I didn't acknowledge that this was an equipped spell. Graveyard, so... Nope. So I think it's going to have to be the Pot of Extravagance and hope for the best again. Well, it feels like I'm... Oh, here we go. Okay, we've got a little bit of something going here. A little bit of something here. Right. Add one ritual spell from your deck to your hand, and add one ritual monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand whose name is listed on that spell. Okay, so I think we've got a little bit of starters. Right. So yes, we want the end of the world as we know it, and we'll take a Demise King. Now you, I can't remember what you do, but I recognise Manju. When this card is normal or flipped summoned, you can add one ritual monster or one ritual spell from your deck to your hand. Now this is an interesting idea. What do you have? You have less attack. Oh, that's unfortunate. So, okay. Thinkings. And you feel fine. Oh, yes, the rest of the song, of course. Right. Yeah, that's to do with becomes the revealed monster's level. Yeah, you can target one monster your opponent controls. Or if this card is sent to the graveyard. Okay. Options, always options. Never any other hot chocolate. Okay, so a plan is formulating. Good plan? Don't know. Bad plan? Maybe. There are two plans that strike me as viable. One, I think, puts me in a slightly less risky position. So I think we'll go with slightly less risky position one, perhaps. So let's see. Yeah. Okay. So I think I summon you, Manju of the Doodars. I might as well, yes, and ideally I want to take the spell card, I think, because I've got a lot of ritual monsters in my hand. So yes, we shall take the end of the world. And now we shall do the execution of cons. No, the execution of the contract. So I reveal you're being equipped to you. Did I? What? Wait. Oh, okay, right. Right, I understand. Okay, so I reveal you, the Queen of Oblivion, and now utilise the ritual to summon forth the Queen of Oblivion using Manju of the Doodars, which allows me to then summon the Queen. Manju has become a thing. Not sure what the Ju kanji is. I'd have to look at it in the original thing. Execute the contract. Die, Demise, King of Armageddon. And now I'm going to save that other end of the world just in case, because I don't know what that track card is. Okay, it's fine. Activate her effect, yes please. Double attack, please. Thank you. Cooler the fuck you. I told you I didn't know what that card was. Bastard. No, of course I don't want to attack again. Well. Yes, noises now. Senju is 1,000, Manju is 10,000. So he's got 10,000 hands then. Or no, Manju was technically his name, wasn't it? Wait, in fact, no, it did mention something about hands, didn't it, or something? Demise, the agent of Armageddon. That's a completely different person, by the way. Oh, there we go. Yeah, he is Manju of the 10,000. So, yeah, Manju is 10,000, yeah. Excellent. I'm not 100% convinced that art features 10,000 hands, but, you know, I'll let him off. Okay, so what does the Agent of Armageddon do? You can ritual summon this card with Cycle of the World. This card's name becomes Demise, King of Armageddon, while in the hand or on the field. If this card is ritual summoned, destroy one face-up monster on the field. I feel like at this point we're going to just go full risk, because he's got enough cards on the field to make it worthwhile now. So it is time to bring forth the mighty Armageddon, and I'll ditch a second Armageddon to bring forth the main Armageddon. So come forth, Mr. Armageddon. Oh yes, they're just moving too quickly to be properly shown. That's fair. Come forth, and yes, I will activate your effect. I'm risking it all for the sake of glory. I'm still very far behind, but I have demolished all of his cards on the field at the moment. Obviously, there's a very distinct chance that if he draws another one of those rituals, he's going to be able to get the better of me. But then, seems as I've been having such trouble drawing these sodding rituals, holy shit-a-moly! I play Reborn the Monster, which is what I believe it was called originally. Oh, the insult! I bring forth your own King of Demise. Oh, I like the fact that they've done that for Monster Reborn. But as I say, I believe in the original series, English dub specifically, I suppose, the original... Ooh. What have I got there? Why? No! No! You're insane, game. I suppose, arguably, it's part of the fodder. But yeah, why would I do that? Why would I get rid of my 2 Armageddon Lords for the sake of the wee witches? But yeah, the very first series, I believe it was called Reborn the Monster. And then later series, they changed it to Monster Reborn. But yeah. Boom! Yes! Your own monster has turned against you. Only the most vile. It's almost always the most vile of people who do the old your monster's attacking you idea. So I'm pleased now. I'm pleased that I'm the most vile of humans in Yu-Gi-Oh! At least. Orbs of light. I've got light orbs. But, you know, it's not the size of your orbs, it's the potency of your orbs that counts. Pretty sure the card has always been Monster Reborn. That's fair. As I say, I feel like in the first series of the anime, what they said out loud was Reborn the monster. And I don't know if you could specifically see on the card whether it was Monster Reborn or not, but it's a weird one, because Reborn the monster makes less sense than Monster Reborn, but still. The red being, Ruin, Queen of Oblivion, brings to the world a reversal of time. When evil has spread throughout civilization and when the world's end is in sight, the red being returns the world to a state before that cause of evil occurred. There are cases in which this reversal may restore the world to a primordial state full of intelligent life. In this way, the world is reborn with hopes that life will transpire on the correct path. For those living in the current world, this would be synonymous with extinction. The process of rewinding the world to promote the proper development of life. What if the world continually takes the wrong path, no matter how many times it restarts? Also, Western version or original Japanese, where it's just an Ankh. I believe Western version we're talking, in terms of speech, certainly. But I can't deny, I think the card, of course, is the Ankh back then. But I might be mistaken. The black being Demise, King of Armageddon, brings about the true end of the world. Its formidable power crushes the world's very foundations and eradicates all living things. There remains no trace that the world was there, only absolute nothingness. The Queen of Oblivion. Oh, which one looks better? I couldn't specifically tell you because I can't remember what the original one looks like. Go away. I'm trying to look things up, but I've gotten distracted. I shouldn't have turned the phone on. No siree. Okay, that's not 100% important right now. Let's look up, see if I can find it. I'm hoping this search will just... No, that's not going to work because that's the word Christine. Yeah, that's a bit better. Monster Reborn card art. That's the search I'm trying for. Now, see? I must admit. Yeah. I do like the over-design. There's a beautiful simplicity about the Ankh. And yes, I will say Ankh. Because I respect all the letters. Ankh. But I do like the crystal. Because, as I say, it's just that little bit on the overly designed side of things. So I think in terms of which one looks better, I think the newer version. Well, I say newer version, I think it's the newer version. King of Armageddon, what lies in the heart of a being who witnessed the destruction of the world countless times over eons that remains unknown to those who disappear. I said it faster to make up for the fact that I was doing the research. It's not how it works, is it? It's how it worked just now. Moments ago. You heard it. I felt obliged. I found new card park! Card park! Card park! Hello, I'm card park. That sounds slightly racist towards Indians. Yeah, it sounds very racist towards Indians, I think. That's why I stopped. Maybe don't highlight it. It sounds like it, though. Master Duel Pack. I get the impression that's the one you were referring to. I think there's only a couple of cards that were released in English first, yeah. Right, I'll tell you what, let's do... Yeah, we'll do the 10 packs, because I didn't realise quite how many of those crystals I had left. So we'll do the full 10. I'm not going to do 40. No, yeah, no, it would be 40. You've done that. But nonetheless. Right, okay. This is kind of crucial for a trading card game online mode. Because they need to... I feel like there needs to be a bit of pomp, a bit of circumstance, a bit of ceremony. And if they don't have that pomp, circumstance, ceremony, I'm going to be slightly disappointed. Now, I could possibly forgive not peeling the actual top off, but I feel like that is a necessity. I feel like you need that little animation where the peel happens. So I'm assuming the only option I've got is to click open. Okay, here we go. Oh, there's pomp circumstance. It wasn't a peel, but it did come up. There's plentiful effects. I'm satisfied. I'm going to go ahead and say it could be better, but I am satisfied nonetheless. There was a nice amount of lightning, and then, as I say, they did at the very least. I would have preferred a slightly more peel thing, but they did at least separate the top of the pack away from the lower end of the pack to suggest the opening. But there we go. Warrock, big blow. Warrock, big blow. Hello. You can either click the cards individually or click at the bottom and it will flip them all. I'm going to click them individually for now, as it's my first one. Don't get me wrong, you know, like the 15th in, I'm going to be skipping them going, fuck it, fuck it. I don't want that card. I don't need that card, you fucker. But for the first ever go, it's very much going to be a very slow, methodical, here we go. So Warrock appears to be an archetype. That's fair enough. Next one. The Lion-Hearted Locomotive. Choo-choo! When this card declares an attack, its attack becomes half its original attack until the end of the damage step. That seems like a bad thing, but I suppose arguably I can see why. It's a 4-star summon at 2,400, so that makes full sense. This is heading a little bit close to the little boy, Leo, I think. Although his were distinctly transformery, weren't they? So, I suppose I'm also thinking a little bit of Cyrus. Yeah, Cyrus Drewsdale. But again, his was distinctly special. That's very much just a train. And then the Satella Knight, Capella. I mean, it looks nice. Natoria Mantis! Oh, I'm a cute little bug with big wide eyes and little flowers. So I'm assuming Natoria, again, is going to be your another archetype. Yang Zing Brutality. If Yang Zing monster you control, again, another archetype, I assume, battles an opponent's monster during damage calculation, your battling monster's attack and defense each become double. Oh, nice. Oh, hello. Twilight Eraser. I will erase the Twilight. Naturi are kind of cute. No idea how good they are. Probably terrible, but, you know. A lot of them... Because I never quite know what comes first, but it feels like some of the archetypes are born from specifically the anime. And it's like, what should we do? I don't know. She's a cute girl, but give her cute little animals. Cool. We'll do that then. And then the real life game has to just sort of go, they've done what? Oh, for fuck's sake. But I think it's the other way around, technically. I think they take archetypes that have been designed, unless it's, it might just be a full-on hand-in-hand thing. I don't know. But, yeah. I've always imagined they're probably sort of like, oh, for fuck's. And especially, Jesus Christ, Naturia Beans. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Any cards can be found in normal, glossy, and some kind of foil. A foil. So are we suggesting that's shiny because it's some kind of foil, or just because it's a rare? Oh, that's an R as well. So I'm assuming that's a shiny thing. Or glossy, I'm assuming, maybe. I've gotten like 2 of the really shiny ones, but glossy is decent. I'm assuming this is considered glossy then, is it? House Dustin! Okay. When this face-up card on the field is destroyed by your opponent's card, either by battle and it was face-up at the start of the damage phase, or by card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon any Dust-On monsters. Great, there's a Dust-On one. Absolutely fantastic. Here we go. Could have done with the cards individually coming out. There's a bit of an effect, but I would have preferred maybe seeing the cards. You can get glossy for anything. Yeah, okay. Oh, Frody. Gene Reader, Boss of Swords. Again, if in doubt, throw words at the thing. Quite a tasty amount of damage, but then again, it was a huge high-star monster. The Vampire's Domain. You can pay 500 life points during your main phase this turn. You can normal summon 1 vampire. Nice. Well, I could be convinced to make a vampire deck. The Mystic Macrocarpa Seed. I see. Synchro-based, it looks like. Oh, the Masked Hero, Dian. They do like their long names, indeed. Must be special summoned with Mask Change. Interesting. So that's sort of... the UA Goalkeeper. I just keep the goal, mate. I don't really do any fighting. I just, save things. So one of their sort of sports decks, I suppose. UA Powered Jersey. You a what, mate? I'm a Powered Jersey. You fucking mental. Phantasm Spiral Battle. Good lord. The Fishman versus the Big Dragons. If all monsters you control are normal monsters, target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it. If Umi is on the field, you can activate this card from your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 normal monster you control, equip that normal monster with all Phantasm Spiral equipped spell cards you control that can equip to it. Confusing. Makes sense if you understand words, I suppose. More Naturia, Leo Drake's main. Its attack becomes 3,000. Good lord. Its effects are negated until the end phase. That's not unreasonable, considering it's got a massive fucking power boost. Yeah. Oof. Blimey. That's quite something. Phew! Whoa! I've got a Slicey Boy! And I think that Slicey Boy is a big one. Oh, Big Slicey Boy! I'm assuming Big Slicey Boy comes in one of these cards. Oh, Level Modulation. Yeah, I've seen that card. I've actually seen that card. Because that I think is based on... Yeah. This is Xyz's summoning style, I believe, isn't it? I think. Yeah, because Xyz, you have to have them be the same level. Oh, no. No, this is not... No, that's not what I think it is. Having actually read the card, that's not quite what I think. Yeah, this is as in sort of little magician level doodah, raging dragon level thingy. But yeah, okay, yeah, no, I do recognise that because I did used to quite enjoy running the Chaz Princeton style deck of, my armoured, I think it's armoured dragon level something or other, then something more. But unrelated card, yeah, I realise that. The Red Warg. When you normal summon a Resonator monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Oh, lovely. Lovely little warg. Larval Judgment Lord. I am the Lord of Lava. So that's again Larvals we've got as an archetype. Terrors of the Underroot. Nothing special that leaps out of me. Impcantation Talismandra. That's just weird. But it's ritual monsters, but I suppose specifically to incantation-based stuff, maybe. Yeah, weird. And then, oh, hello! It's a shiny boy. Or glossy boy. The True Draco Apocalypse. Now that sounds like the sort of card I'd enjoy, but I think it's based on, yeah, True Draco or True King. I'm assuming that's a sort of archetype again. But in fairness, I do like dragons. That does sound dragony. During damage calculation, if your Link monster battles an opponent's monster, your monster gains an attack equal to the total levels ranks of the monster it points to. Oh yeah, that's where Link monsters start getting complicated, getting their links in the right place. Ooh! a volcanic scattershot. You'd need a ton more of these, but yeah, the Blaze Accelerator style stuff. That was Axel, was it? Was his name Axel? I mean, I've got the face entirely in my brain. Was it Axel Brody? Or am I thinking of something else? Do you know what? Let's look it up. You might be able to inform me before I get as far as looking it up. But he was in GX. But I do feel like I might be... No, that's not. No, not quite the spelling I thought, but that is a name, certainly. Is it? Yes, it is! Axel Brody, the man with the gun. You bought a deck. I bought a gun. But it was very, very daft. Very daft. But yeah, you can sort of... It's all guns, and you shoot ammo. And a lot of it is based on trying to not die before you shoot all of your ammo at the person. Zohar, the Ogdu attack, boundless. I've got an Ogduidic. Do you want to see my Ogduidic? No, not really, mate. Just put it away, son. Put it away. Nobody wants to. Oh, Raid Raptor. Oh, oh. This is one from not Zexal, the series after Zexal. Whose name escapes me. Or was it Zexal? No, it wasn't Zexal. It was the one after Zexal. But yeah, Raid Raptor Rise Falcon, I believe, was one of the main ones in that. Possibly. Or Raid Raptors, certainly. I think that was the sort of... The Xyz boys... You know, the main character was you... Well, it was definitely you something, because they all are, but... Apart from Jaden, of course. But he is Jaden Yuki, and I think the idea was they just swapped the names around in England. Or in America, I suppose, technically. But yeah, nonetheless, I recognise the Raid Raptors. I wouldn't necessarily... Oh! I pushed the wrong button. That's a fun fact. I think if you push your right mouse button, it will skip across everything. Morphtronic repair unit. Well, now Morphtronic, that's what the boy uses, Leo. That's what Leo uses. Because they're basically Transformers. Quillbolt Hedgehog. That is a 5Ds special. It's one of the signatures of... I can't remember his name. The lead character in 5Ds. Because he used all the sort of scrap junk beasts. I really quite liked his deck. Because I quite enjoyed the idea of using the scrap and stuff. Witchcrafters, interesting. Or the Witchcrafter Holiday. I don't think I could possibly use those. They're just too... They're just too cute anime for me. They're just on that side of no, I don't, no. But I imagine they are probably useful. But Ancient Gear Fortress. Now, see, I used to enjoy the Ancient Gear monsters. The character in GX who used them, Professor Plum? No, I mean he was a Plum, but not actually called Professor Plum. But yeah, I used to enjoy Ancient Gear golems and stuff. They were enjoyable. Oh, bang, bang. Oh, only one lightning. Oh, I'm running out of lightning here. Oh dear. Performer pals. Oh god, they were horrendous. I kind of grew to like them. Velian, yeah, I was certainly close enough. Yeah, quite right. Velian Crowler. That's it. It's Professor Crowler, but I believe you're quite right on the first name being Velian. Which arguably, you tend to watch the Japanese version, I tend to watch the English version. They may have just swapped the names around or some such. As I say, like they did with Jaden Yuki, because I think traditionally he's meant to be Yuki Jaden. Because all of the Yu-Gi-Oh characters begin with the U prefix. If you were unaware, Yugi, Yuki, Yu-Ya is definitely one of them. I believe Yu-Ya is the one who possibly wielded the performer powers, or Yu-Ya is one of the others. But nonetheless, they're all got a Yu-Ya, U something in there. Oh, what is this? Oh, Shell Rocket Dragon. Ooh, it's quite nice. Don't like the spelling. I realise they've just made it sort of trying to make it a bit different, but I don't like the spelling. I know. Such pathetic little things you don't like. Revival Rose, that's going to be Black Rose Dragon girl, whose name escapes me, but was really kind of cool. Do you know what? I think, bar the first series, you say, yeah, you say this, and I say that, and we'll call the whole thing off. But yes, you're quite right, you say. Which one was he, then? Was he one of the one? Was he the one who used the performer powers? Akiza, you're quite right there. Yusei was the 5Ds one, was he? Ah, got ya. Malefic Stardust Dragon. Talking of 5Ds, I always like Jack in 5Ds. Jack Atlas. I'm the master of faster, the Sultan of speed, the Northern Bastard. I don't think he didn't quite go that far, but he did say the master of faster, which makes him sound quite northern. A Snow Dragon, quaint little Snow Dragon. Disappointing. Oh, Elemental Hero Prisma, and there we go. Have another Jaden, a Jaden special there. Oh, 2 lightning bolts. 2 lightning bolts is better than 1. Oh, got a fancy. All roads lead to the fancy. Summon Storm. Ah, you can summon one winged monster. Summon Storm once per turn. Scrap Breaker. I don't think it actually is, but it does feel like it's the sort of one that 5D's boy, you say, as we've established. Oh, hello. I'll go for a little shake. Oh, I've got a little key. I've got a vampire Fraulein. Yeah. Got something more rare finally. Thank you. I like the idea of getting something rarer finally, but still. Luckily at the moment I don't have any real conception. Oh, Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon. Fancy. I suppose that is actually... Is that the one... Basically, I'm doing this, but yeah, I think that's the one where that's the 2 characters' decks combined, and they summoned the Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon. Because I think Odd Eyes did a lot of that, fusing with people. Oh, hello! Vendred Anima. Oh, the key means you have the special pack for the vampire set, I understand. Oh, well, maybe I'll have to focus in on trying to get a vampire deck put together or some such. Gradle. Gradle. Gradles. Oh, shaky. The Fire King Avatar Yaksha. My God, look at all of the words. And again, we've managed to get a sort of rare key monster. Ooh, 2 lightning bolts and a slicey boy. My God, we must be doing well if we've got 2 lightning bolts and a slicey boy. I'll hold my hands up. I have no idea. It just makes me feel good that there's a slicey boy there. Oh, a treacherous trap hole. Fake. Poor lads. If you have no trap cards in your graveyard, interesting. Target 2 monsters on the field, destroy those targets. That is quite something, but to not have any trap cards in your graveyard, it either has to come up early or you're running a deck that's quite anti-trappy. But there you go. I quite liked. I think it was it's the season where they separated the dimensions that I can't remember the name of. After Zexal, I think. What I quite enjoyed there was the guy's sort of warrior type deck that was all monster cards. He could have no. I think the idea was he had no magical trap cards in there. Although I think he may have had 1 or 2, but still. TTT is borderline meta in Duel Links, but probably not amazing in Standard. It has its uses for sure, but not a big fan. And which one was that? TT. Oh, Treacherous Trap Hole, yeah. Oh, the Spiral Mission Assault. I've got a handsome boy beating some goons. Nice. Snake Whistle. Come forth, Snake. Snake. Snake! 1 reptile monster you control is destroyed. Special summon another reptile monster. I suppose that's just good for generic reptile decks. if you have a generic reptile deck. I suppose, yeah, TTH, wouldn't it? Yeah. Fire Formation, Dom High. Fire Fist. And Boosh. Gar Revenge. Well, I don't think he ever used it. I might be wrong, but that is, of course, Gar is Zexal, I believe. Gar Magician. Gar Golem. Or Go Golem, I think it is, and I think that is Gar Magician. Whoa! Okay. Vampire Retainer. That is possibly the greatest cat I've ever seen. Or is it meant to be a dog? No, I think it is meant to be a dog, isn't it? I don't know. Thoughts on a postcard, please. Reptiles have amazing magic trap support. Snake Rain is borderline broken, but absolutely no good reptile monsters to use them with. That is unfortunate. You can pay 500 life points, add 1 vampire spell trap card from your hand. Yeah, the game definitely feels like it's pushing me towards vampires. God Dragon Pisty. Oh, don't Pisty. I know, mate. Please don't. No. I know you're taking your guard duty seriously, but don't Pisty in the corner. Look, you got to go over there to the toilet so you can Pisty. Whoosh! All of the cards. Oh, another shiny. Shall we skip the shiny? Tri-Brigade kit. What sort of kit is in the Tri-Brigade? And yes, I'm avoiding the shiny until last. A client! Oh, boo. Boo hiss boo. On the punnage there. Oh, dear. Cyburst is in the latest series, I believe, anyway. Cyber Universe, I think, is basically what they've combined the two words with. They went, we've got cyber ones, and they come from a universe. Cyburst? Oh, no. Torbus to Forbidden Realms. I love that name. I love that card. You are my favourite card now. Oh, hello. The Augmented Heraldry. Oh, Heraldic Beasts. I've seen Heraldic Beasts. Archfiend Giant. Oh, Archfiends. Gimmick Puppet Nightmare. Oh, God, yeah, that would give you nightmares, wouldn't it? Look at the state of that thing. Jesus. Is that the American or British version of Pisty? I don't know. I didn't know there was one. I was just suggesting you'd take a piss in the corner. As in, urinate. So whichever one that counts as. I mean, arguably, I think, in terms of America, it's slightly more likely to be urination. And no, in America, it's actually being angry, isn't it? I'm so pissed. And of course, in England, if you say I'm so pissed, it means you're smashed out of your fucking skull on alcohol. Freya, Spirit of Victory. I'm sure that's not going to insult a person who enjoys Norse mythology. That Freya is now a cheerleader. I suppose it's just a name, technically. I was thinking more pissed. Yeah, that's fair. Oh, that's disappointing. Rose Bell. Never put a rose near your bell. 1 plant monster. So that, again, I suppose arguably any plant-based deck, but it does feel like it's designed to be perhaps something along the lines of trying to build towards a black rose dragon or something. Anyway, I don't know. Oh, 9 of 10. There we go. The number's in the corner. Oh, we've got big yellow shinies and a fucking purpley hue. I'll have to look at my purpley hue. The Guardian of Felgrand. The Guardian Felgrand. And that was the end of the story. He just felt really good that day. It's weird. He was just happy. You can equip 1 level 7 or 8 dragon type monster from your hand or graveyard. I was taking the piss out of him, and then I spotted the phrase level 7 or 8 dragon type. And we know what a level 7 or 8 dragon type is. It's a blue eyes white dragon. But it might not necessarily be useful. I'm just saying. This card gains attack and defense equal to half the attack and defense of the monster equipped to it. Well, that would take it. I mean, if you did do, because I think, is it? It's definitely 3,000 attack points is a blue eyes. I can't quite remember the defense points. It might be 2,000 and something, or is it 3,000 apiece? I don't think it's 3,000 apiece though. You contribute summon this. One monster in this card, then target 1 level 7 or 8 dragon type monster in your graveyard. Special summon it. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that being... And yeah, you're right, the second part is slightly better. It is 3,000, 3,000? 2,500? We've got a vote on 2,500. We've got a vote on 3,000, 3,000. I can't remember. See, this tells you my focus when it comes to... And arguably, probably why I like Blue Eyes monsters. My focus is the attack points. I could instantly tell you the attack points are with Blue Eyes, but the defense points... it has a defense mode? I didn't know this. I don't think I've ever used that. It's attack, attack, attack. That's the key thing. But yeah, you contribute one monster in this card, then target one level 7. Yeah. So that's yeah. That would go. That would go. I think he has a place. The boy has a place. Chronomaly, Chula Guardian. He guards the Chulas. Nobody knows what a Chula is, but he's very much guarding it. Maybe it's 2,500. I think it might be. I'm leaning towards the 2,500 because I think the idea is it should be in attack mode. Well, that's... Although I question why you'd ever have it in the defense mode. Exactly. You're not supposed to. It's meant to be an attacking monster. But 99% of monsters' defense hasn't been relevant since Mystical Blue Elf at 2,000 defense back in like step 2. Well, there are... Well, yeah, I mean... You're quite right. Defense is not as relevant nowadays, but back in the day, it was actually quite useful having some of those. Mystical Blue Elf, Stone Guardian, stuff like that were quite useful for stall tactics. Because you just went, I'm stalling now, because there's nothing that you can just basically summon that can get past the defense of this. And it was quite useful, but nowadays, no. No. At all. No. Just no. Bonding... Oh, no, that's not... Oh, I see. No, I do. I don't see. Yeah, this is... It's not quite what I thought it was. I thought it was just bonding H2O. But it's not. It's slightly fancier and alternate. Because I know Water Dragon, you had bonding H2O, because that was the science guy. That was Bill Nye, the science guy, in the second series, GX. Or, not technically second series, but second generation, I suppose. And I quite liked his deck, because I really thought it was quite clever. The idea of Hydrogeddon and Octogeddon, and forming the science of fusion. And I think it was very entertaining. That's the Magic card version. Yeah, I suppose that makes a good sense. But yeah, I quite liked his sciencey deck. Oh, and talking of GX, Elemental Hero Glowneos. I used to run a fairly decent Neos deck, but that was years and years ago. Crusadia Leonis. Ooh, Crusadia might be interesting. It just sounds like a fun word. Light imprison. We're in prison. Negate all light monster effects activated on the field or in the graveyard. That feels, I suppose, continuous, not too bad, but that feels very specific to a very niche idea. One of Bastion's water decks, yes. Oh, it's probably terrible as an actual sort of deck, perhaps, but yeah. I also quite liked one of his later decks was the Math Magician, and I liked that. It's silly and daft. Oh, hello! Hello, my friend. Hello, Darkness, my old spirit dragon. Nice. I don't think it's that one, actually, but I do own a Synchro White Dragon type one. But yeah, one tuner and one non-tuner Blue Eyes monsters. Neither player can special summon 2 or more monsters at the same time once per turn. When an effect of a card in the GY is activated, you can negate the activation. You contribute this Synchro Summoned card, special summon 1 Light Dragon Synchro monster from your extra deck in defense position, except Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, but destroy it during the end of this turn. First you are, and it's just the right archetype. Yeah, that is true. I mean, that is quite something, game. Well played. Well played, video game. Well played. Plenty of cards. Oh, we got another shiny card from the back. Disarm. Remove his arms, please, sir. Oh, hello. You're excited for glorious illusions. Light sworn cards. Gishki Vanity. Nice. I've got nothing to say. I'm trying to find stuff to say about them, but sometimes it's just like, I don't know. It looks like a card. The Iron Core of Corki. And the Parlor Dragon Maid. Well, the fact that it says a Dragon Maid makes me think maybe, but no, Dragon Maid is looking like its own specific, very much specific thing. That again is possibly just that little bit too cutesy for me, but I could be convinced. I could be swayed by the dragon part of the whole affair, so I might enjoy that. But yeah, I also think I would enjoy every single one of those cakes, but that's beside the point. Awakening of the Possessed Gigabyte. Jesus. Oh, the Skullmeister. I mean, I do have a lot of skulls. I have officially built my own skull throne. When a card effect is activated in your opponent's graveyard, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard and negate that effect. I see. I mean, I like him. I like him as a design and I like him as a name, but the effect doesn't leap out as something I would need. Oh, chill out, man. Chill out. Salaman Great Mirage Stalio. Fucking. I'm assuming Salaman Great seems to be the archetype. Interesting. What do we need? We need some more fire monsters. Oh, for fuck's sake, Salaman's great. Why do we have to do salamanders? They're not great. I don't know. It feels like a weird word. But yes, I found a new card pack. So are these permanent now? I can just do that to my heart's content. Secret packs. No. I had a feeling that was going to be the case. So which one? Oh, there we go. Jet Black Rose. I did say there was Rose Dragons. Azure in the Ivory, I'm assuming, is going to be the one that features that. Immortal Royalty as well would be quite interesting, perhaps. But yeah, slightly annoying. I've only got X amount of hours to make a decision. I suppose we can probably afford to purchase some. Oh, the bingo machine was quite fun. Yeah. Go on, we'll do 10 more. Should really move on and do something else. We'll do these packs a little bit more sort of swift, I think, at this point. Bang! Lightning! Oh, look at that. Oh, fancy. Morphtronic Smartphone. And the White Stone of the Ancients, that's going to be useful. Grid Rod, not so much, perhaps. Oh, Dragoonity, yeah, I've seen Dragoonity monsters previously. If you click featured cards on the side, yeah. I think, fortunately, this one is obvious enough. Anything to do with white and blue is going to be the right one. Here we go. And dink, 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 dink. Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon, nice. Fancy Infinitrack Crab Crane. I almost thought it was going to be Crab Cannon. I was going to go, fuck you, Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, they might have a Crab Cannon in fairness, but Crab Cannon was my design. Maiden with the Eyes of Blue is usually quite a good one. Blue Eyes Solid Dragon, I think. Yeah, it's quite good for swapping round, if memory serves. Mausoleum of White, I do remember as a card. I don't remember what it does or if it's useful, but I do remember it as a card. Just one bang of lightning. Ding, ding, ding. And, whoop. Zombie Master! Oh, the Six Samurai. Protector with the Eyes of Blue. That's another one that's sometimes useful, I think. That's appealing, because that is some kind of Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon. Ritual Summon. I'd need the spell card to be able to do it, but it might be not terrible. Dragon's Fighting Spirit. I like that. I like the card art on that. One dragon-type monster you control that was special summon this turn. For each monster your opponent currently controls that was special summon this turn, it gains one additional attack. Golly. That would be quite good, it sounds, at least, initially. Oh, we've got ourselves triple lightnings. No slicey boy, but triple lightnings. That's something. Starry Night, Rank Up Magic, Sulphur Chords, Cyber Petite Angel. That is Alexis's, I believe. Successor Soul. Tribute 1 effect monster, then target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, send it to the graveyard, then special summon 1 level 7 or higher normal monster from your hand or deck. You can only activate... Oh, I mean, that is a sexy card. The effect monster is slightly gonna slightly reduce your options, but nowadays almost everything's a motherfucking effect monster. There's very few normal monsters that anybody else is going to be playing. So yeah, that sounds excellent. Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Excellent. We want to do a new one. I'll stick Neo on the front of it. That'll do. But yeah, that might be quite fun. Although again, you'd need... I'm assuming you do need a full polymerization? Yeah. There's fusion summon card attacked. No, yeah. No, I think as far as I can tell, it is a standard fusion monster, which is fair enough. We got another White Stone of Legend, which could come in useful. And this one... Oh, this one's the Chaos... Wait, am I confused? No, I'm not confused. Interesting. Blackluster Soldier. Yeah. Any Chaos. Oh. So that's quite universal. Intriguing. I say universal, it's got very specific things. It's just I assumed it was going to be specific to the one ritual one. Different white stuff, was it really? Interesting. Interesting. I did not spot the fact it was a different white stone. Guess I'd have to have a look in that. So White Dragon Ritual, Majesty with Eyes of Blue. Oh, it was Legend and Ancient. Oh, interesting. I'll have to find out what the difference is at some point. Send 1 Blue Eyes monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, then target 1 face-up monster on the field. It cannot attack while it's face-up on the field. You can only activate 1 Majesty of Blue Eyes per turn. And 1 Blue Eyes monster from your hand, then target 1 face-up monster. Okay. Stall tactics, it sounds like. Stall. 2 of them, and a Crystal Dragon. Once per turn, during your battle step, if this card battled this turn, you can add 1 level 8 Dragon-type monster from your deck to your hand. Ooh, yes. That's, again, a decent way of perhaps cycling to your Blue Eyes. Which is fundamentally what a Blue Eyes deck is almost always about. It's cycling to your Blue Eyes. And the Wind Witch Glass Bell and the Successor Soul we've already seen. Maybe the Eyes of Blue we've seen as well, so I don't think there's anything new there. Ooh! And, oh, that's going to be disappointing because there's nothing special here. There's nothing special here. Oh, the ultimate creature of destruction. Target 1 Blue Eyes monster you control this turn. That face-up monster is unaffected by cards except its own. It cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, any opponent's monster it battles is destroyed at the end of the damage to... Jesus, fuck. That's a hell of a thing. While this card is in graveyard, if you special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon, you can set this card but banish it when it leaves the field. Holy fuck! That's incredible! I like that. Assault Wyvern. Oh, Assault Wyvern. We hadn't quite gotten that far. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you contribute this card, special summon 1 Dragon-type monster from your hand or graveyard. Yes. I like that. That is quite good. White Dragon Ritual, I'm not worried about. Constellar... Oh! I thought that said Constellar Salt. And I was thinking, that's disappointing. It's just a salt seller. But it's not, so we're alright there. 8 out of 10. Hey! I've got a slicey boy! That usually... I'm assuming that means good things. Good things for my slicey boy. Doo-da, doo-da. Oh. Although disappointment. White Rose Cloister. Is that actually something to do with? The fact that it's white makes me wonder, but no, it's more Wozy Dragon. Dragon of Woes. Oh, Master with the Blue Eyes. Priestess of the Blue Eyes. Crystal Avatar. Intriguing. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, if its attack greater than or equal to your LP, special summon this card in attack position as an effect monster. That has an attack equal to your life points. Interesting. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that. The rest of that, nothing leaping out immediately. Oh, not quite the final pack. I thought it was the final one. It's the final pack now. Oh, yeah, another shiny one. We'll wait and see what that is. Oh, here we go. Here's the White Stone of Legend. This, I think, is the one I recognise, so we'll have to investigate the other one. If this card is sent to the graveyard, add 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand, yeah. And it's a tuner. Rainbow Karibo! They stopped having Karibo in every single series, which is almost disappointing. Not 100%. Oh, Crush Card Virus, of course. Doesn't work like you'd expect Crush Card Virus to work, I don't think. Not quite like it did in the original series, at least. I think it's got a bit more limitations. Oh, hello. Oh no, that's the Spirit Dragon. We already had the Spirit Dragon, that's fine. Bountiful Artemis, Front Blast of the Monarchs. Oh, Monarchs, not interested in. A second Assault Wyvern could be useful. Reminded of a joke I once saw someone make that Blue Eyes themed cards are all about the elegance, regal and destruction, and the Red Eye themed cards are just, I don't know, just make some cards about shit Joey cares about. I like that one. A couple of virus traps are super strong. I see. Interesting. Right, let's. Yeah, you're quite. Yeah. Do you know? I thought that was the same. I thought that was the Legends. I looked at it and went, yeah, that's the one I know. So once per turn during the end phase, it is still a tuner monster, which is useful in a way. If this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can special summon 1 Blue Eyes monster from your deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Blue Eyes monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can only use the effect of White Stone of Ancients once per turn. Yes. Yes, interesting. Yeah. It's quite nice. Yeah, I feel like I've ended up with a nice little haul that's going to be viable to do something with. Granted, I might grab another, because I didn't get the bingo machine, unfortunately. Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon. Oh. Ritual Spell or Polymerizations, and that's for sort of getting to your higher end ones. Spirit Dragon, we've ended up with a couple of them. Chaos Max Dragon. You know. We need to make it suggest it's even more chaotic than the first one. I don't know, just stick Max in it. Okay. The Maximum Dragon. Or his name is Max, of course. There is that possibility. Do you have any of the tickets? Oh, well, what I want to find out about your tickets. Tickets. I cannot see the tickets. Is it in notifications? Is it in the currency? General currency. Hey, I'll give you your general currency. You want general currency? I can give you general currency. Are we back in the shop? I'll go back in the shop for a moment. Bonus packs. Okay, bonus packs. There are currently no products to purchase. You are not allowed. So no, I think is the answer, but I might be mistaken. Accessories. Yeah, we've already sort of spent some cash on accessories. And then the dual pass gold. Yeah, I'm surprised. The idea of a pass. I'm surprised that's not. Unless, of course, it's very difficult to get these crystal things, I suppose. These gems, yeah. I'm assuming maybe that's just they've been generous at first, but then you have to pay. You have to pay out the fucking arsehole. Anyway, I'm gonna pop Yu-Gi-Oh away for now because we have been doing Yu-Gi-Oh for quite a significant period of time. We shall see what other options there might be. What other options are there? Oh, there's some here. A bundle deal is the special pull with a guaranteed UR. I see. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Beep 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 beep. Now I'm just sort of looking at all of the things. That's right. That's not where I thought it was. Now it's where I thought it was. We shall sink into beardy hurt. Yes, we shall sink into beardy hurt. Would you like to ship it to beardy hurt? Sink into the beardy what? The beardy who? I don't know. Are you the beardy weirdy in the west? Oh, I am the beardy weirdy in the west. Oh, dear. And just logging in each day can net a few hundred gems. Oh, that's not too bad then. At least at first, yeah. It's crack cocaine syndrome, isn't it? Yeah, mate. You just have this. You just have a few crystals on the free. Yeah. Oh, go on. You can enjoy that. Yeah. Go on, son. Go on. Now you're hooked. We're gonna charge you out the fucking arsehole. But maybe I'm a little bit too bitter and twisted about this whole affair. But there you go. Right, let's have a look, see what else we fancy doing. We'll do something slightly different, perhaps. I say slightly different. We might end up just going back to the usual. Don't know what it looks like past the first week or so, but I've gotten a ton. That's fair enough. That's part of the problem, though, is remembering to log in every single day, because I tend to find I drift for games like that. But still, you got a bunch up there just waiting to be collected. I'll have to have a look. I'll have to try and sort of make the effort to log in each day, but as I say, it's always slightly difficult because it's like, really, I don't want to. I want to do this instead. Something I've heard about this game, it gives you a lot up front, which makes me question how they're going to get money from this in the long run. Yeah, that's true. They don't auto-add, you have to complete the quest. I see. I suppose, yeah, there's a lot of quests you can get for that, for some of those gem bits, perhaps. Anyway, I am considering options here. What options do I have? I don't know. What options do I have? I've got all sorts of options. I've got options here, I've got options there. I've got options over here if I really want. But I must admit I'm slightly tempted. Yeah, I haven't quite been beaten into submission just yet, so. But normally you want people who play the most to spend the most money. Yeah, but in a card game, once you have the best cards, I can't see a reason for those players to spend any more money. Well, I suppose arguably when they release more cards, they'll, be able to charge more. Perhaps, I don't know. Oh, based on limited experience, I missed that bit. With PvP, everyone but me has a tier 1 meta deck after 30 seconds of playing. Wow. Oh, excellent. Somewhere along the line, we lost a load of frames. Not sure why. It just completely dropped all webbing for me, which is annoying. Been doing surprisingly well. And suddenly, lo and behold, it decides, no, fuck you. I don't want to work properly. And power creep is absolutely a thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! And it doesn't even feel like they're trying to hide that fact. Because some of them do a decent job of sort of skirting around it, going, no, mate, no, you come here, don't look at the power creep, look at this shiny over here, don't look at the power creep. Whereas Yu-Gi-Oh! Just feels like it's gone, yeah, it's power creeping. You just pay us for the best stuff. Something I've seen someone say, and so I certainly don't know about virtual card games or Yu-Gi-Oh! To say anything. Yeah, no, well, I didn't. This is why I didn't do much in the way of more than like a few tournaments, because basically you had one guy who clearly had more money than sense. Frankly, more money than sense, and he basically just every time they released a new deck, he bought that new deck, and that new deck was the best. And he had every single card of that new deck, and it was perfect. And, the guy was pretty much unbeatable. Now, granted, I didn't experience that all that much. This was hearsay. Hearsay and rumour. The bastions of bitter folk. But nonetheless, it did feel like it was very much...
They stand guard even now.
So yeah, amazingly...
And dreaming.
Oh, I suppose... Steam. Are you being a bitch, Steam? I don't think you're being a bitch. Because no. You've been told not to be a bitch. Anyway, we're mid-run. It's not gone well. I've got a Hellion. I've got a Runaway. new. And I got a Jester. He's new. Well, isn't that because Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't phase cards out of being competitive, so whereas things like Magic make you buy... Oh, God, the internet... Yeah, no, the internet's completely fucked, isn't it? That's quite annoying. So I do have to question why. Why is the internet completely buggered? What has occurred? Oh, okay, it's the internet completely gone. Excellent. Excellent. Wonderful. Okay, so apparently we've been reconnected. What has happened? No, we're fine. Yes, that's true. Okay, now right there we go. Right, we've got our carriage going. But yeah, we're about to find out more about this. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a banned list. Yes, certainly I knew that. Slightly improved from the starter deck, and everything else is limited at max 3. Yes. Make you buy the new stuff because you can't use the old stuff. The only way you're going to get the new cards is that. That's not the case. Yeah. No, I mean Yu-Gi-Oh! Certainly has an element of being able to sort of. They don't necessarily phase out the old cards. They sort of bring new cards to make the old cards better. Interesting. Oh, of course. This is it. Yeah, right. I'm getting confused. Echoes of the Past. So let's find out a little bit more. Yeah, I'm going to find out a little bit more about Bonnie. Basically, she ran away from her home, and then she ended up in a pleasant home, as far as it sounded like. So, yeah. But they don't stop you using old cards, whereas other card games don't. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I think I know what you're both saying. But yes, drawn to the flame. So what happened? Last time we saw Bonnie, she was in a happy family.
Captivated by its shifting hues, she thrilled to
Please, Bonnie, don't burn down the lovely family that took you in.
Running her fingers absent-mindedly over the scars that patterned her arm. The hearthlight seemed somehow alive, and in these private moments, she yearned to reach out and be touched once again.
Reach out and touch face.
Embrace.
Aww. I think I know where her story's going. Her story's going that she burns down the lovely family that took her in. A controlled burn. I see. Oh, target gets a super burn. I don't know what a super burn is. We'll have to try and find out what super burn is. Or what blue burn is, I suppose. Is it going to be worthwhile taking? I do not know. Let's have a closer look. So yeah, ignores evasion, ignores invisibility, and ignores blindness, which is interesting. But the target does get sort of super flamed. Let's see. Token glossary. What is super flame? Super flame. Ah, controlled burn. Okay. Inflicts 2 flame on monsters in this rank at the start of their turn. Oh, interesting. So it's actually going to be a burn that's based on the idea of being in that one rank. Could be interesting. Let's go there and see if there's something I'm willing to sacrifice. I don't tend to run and hide. So might be worthwhile. We'll ditch run and hide and have a go with controlled burn. That might work out for the something. Although having said that, I think the moment I land in any kind of fight, I'm dead. Well, having said that, we're about to hit a hospital, so I don't know how much cash I've got, but we have to fight before hitting that hospital, of course. So survival is not always a guarantee.
And humanity.
I will just clarify, the reason why I'm in this state is because I went against one of the bosses, and it kicked the shit out of me. I beat him, but this is what happens when you go against one of the big bosses. You end up in this predicament. Everybody hates everybody else. There are no good relationships between this group. They're all pretty stressed, and they're all buggered on health. So, yeah, all in all, not great. Right, so requires stress plus 5, so that's not terrible there, but I think maybe... I think we'll just go with a basic slice off on this occasion. Because a lot of the Jester... I think he was very similar in the first game, so if you know the Jester in the first game, you'll know roughly what he does here. But basically, he's very movie. He leaps around all over the place, which can slightly scupper everybody else, but I suppose arguably we might as well try our controlled burn. We'll controlled burn that rank, so that, theoretically at least... Oh, there we go, resentful, of course. Fun fact, when you're in this predicament where everybody hates everybody else, the meltdowns make very little difference. Most of the stuff on the Forbidden list just cause weird or broken interactions, usually with cards released well after the problem card was, yeah. Things that can create ties or infinite loops. Yes. I mean, they're not, I must admit, they're not bad at sort of sorting things out. But there is a distinct sort of, yeah, this is very much a sort of, the latest set will inevitably make, everything better, and if you have the exact meta deck that you need, it does tend to prove slightly better. But there we go. Razor's Wit has moved him forward, but does get him a dodge. Only a 50% chance though, unfortunately, which is not great news, but still. Death's Door, excellent, excellent. I mean, I think frankly, if I lose any more characters, this run is probably at an end, but we'll see. Fun fact. Oh yeah, she's got a special item, I think. If she's at Death's Door, she stands a chance of having 2 actions. So she's actually stronger at Death's Door than anybody else, but there you go. Firefly, she can just maximum burn you, friend. Everybody burn now. I am the fiery firefly of justice. Oh, is this not what you wanted? What, for everything to be shitty and horrible? No, oddly enough, it's not what I wanted. I mean, I wasn't expecting sunshines and rainbows from the Darkest Dungeon, but equally I wasn't expecting to be quite so shat on. Also, Pot of Greed, but nobody knows what that card does. Pot of Greed has been banned for years now, hasn't it? Or at least I remember it being banned back when I was playing it. You have a shitpost about that card. How fascinating. The Iron Swan. No, I think just kill that. Kill that thing. And now, theoretically, yeah, they can go back, and that'll allow Bonnie to get involved again. But yeah, I do slightly fear that my people are going to die, which is inconvenient to say the least. But there you go, and it's never coming off. It's banned because it's too good. Every duck would run it because it's drawing 2 cards with no downside. Yeah, I know. This is not good. Oh, let's pop you some laudanum, and then I'll try and burst his eyes with smoke so that he doesn't actually hit me. Or he dies immediately. Excellent. I didn't know he was quite so weak, but that's fine. It suits me down to the ground, in fact. I'm trying to just limp home, basically. 51 leagues. I've got 51 leagues. We are going to make it to the hospital, so if I've got some cash, I might actually manage it. 3 times Pot of Greed basically means your deck is 37 cards. Yes. But the thing is, they could make it so that you can only take 1. Which wouldn't necessarily be outrageous. Just to get it off the ban list, really. Just to let people actually play the card. Well, I think we'll max your health. We'll max your health, and then we'll see. We'll max your health as well. Marvellous. There's not a lot else I can do with my cash, so that's fine. We will just leave the field hospital. Now we're healthy again. How long? I do not know. So there's another hospital, but we're never going to get the money. So, really, I think it's going to be... I think I might as well go to that bell, to be honest. So, we'll go for the easy path to the resistance encounter, hard path to the hospital, easy to the bell. If we make it that far, of course. Yeah, that's fair. It's a card literally every deck would use. That's why what they don't want. Yeah, that's fair. It's not unreasonable. Right, anyway, what was I? Oh yeah, I was going to show. So we've got Thin-Blooded, Terrified, which is not great, and Tuck It Out. She's a poor little girl. Also, doesn't have any trinkets. Do we have some trinkets for you? Do you have trinkets? You have trinkets. You have trinkets. You do not have trinkets. You might as well have bleed resistance because it's quite high. And yeah, you might as well have some extra health. Get drinking, dear. Get drinking. Right, so yeah, easy path. We're not going to another bloody... Oh no, that's the Oasis. Oh, okay, the Oasis could be worthwhile. But that would be 2 hard paths. But, technically... Oh, Sarmenti wants me to go to the battle. And Sarmenti is actually quite low on sanity, so I might as well go for the one. Although I found the shitpost, be warned, it's a long one. I see. Well, I'll drop it in the Discord and I will try and get round to reviewing it at some point, but no guarantees if it is that long.
Resigned
We'll have to wait and see.
They waited for death.
Douche. There we go.
They wait.
Oh, here we go. Right. The Forgotten Outpost. We can weather this storm. What are we waiting for? And my muse is Battle's Fury. Well, I think it's better to go with Boudica because she has bonuses, which is what you want. Let's get down to business. Now, the one serious advantage... Why is she... Oh, did she have a meltdown? Oh, of course she did. They always have a fucking meltdown. Every fucking day. I was about to post it in chat. There'd be 2 posts. Aye, fair enough. Oh, in that case, pop it in the Discord. That'd be the easiest way. Right, so let's see. She can still control burn, but then slice off is roughly the same, but higher crit, higher dodge. And I think we'll start slicing them off. Although, is there a way of... No, I don't think there is. We'll slice his knackers off and make him bleed. But yeah, the benefit here, apart from the fact that she's mostly dead, is she's got the Iron Swan? Iron Swan, yeah, which allows me to attack someone at the rear, which is beneficial. In fact, what I should have done, or what I can still do, is control burn that area. But what I should have done was, if I had swapped those 2 round, I'd have been able to throw a firebomb at him, which would have been quite useful. It's kind of a shame Delinquent Duo is banned, but opening with that card is always going to be busted. I don't know what it does, so I couldn't comment. Oh, no, yeah, this is bad news. What would be really useful is if she ends up bleeding. That would be very useful. I realise that sounds counterproductive, but I have a solution to bleed. I don't have a solution to anything else. The Razor's Wit... Oh, because he's taunted, of course. I hate that card. Oh, I hate that move. I hate everything about this game. We're very much at that territory. I've been playing it so long, I hate this game. Just, it really brings down your mood. Something drastic when you're sort of playing it and it's, oh god. Hell. Demise. Destruction. Well, there's not a lot you can do, so I suppose it's just twat them as hard as you can. Twat them as hard as you can. It's got the 2 little demons on it. Again, I don't recognise the name, so I suppose I could look it up, but I fear the repercussions of touching the internet in an unreasonable fashion. Dynamic Delinquent, you fucking idiot. I was going to find Robin and Batman. Delinquent Duo, interesting. I didn't even have to type in the whole thing, so that's clearly famous. Oh yeah, 2 little demons. And yes, pay... I suppose I should read yours, because the... Oh, there we go. It's come into focus. Pay 1,000 LP, your opponent discards 1 random card, and if they have any other cards in their hand, discard 1 more card of their choice. Yeah, that's quite potent. So it's one of those oddities where I think I am so shit at Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't think it would make that much difference. Because I just don't have a plan at any given time. It's kind of like, yeah, no, that's bad. Is it bad? I don't know. Which is not a good way of playing the game, trust me. But nonetheless, you know. Do, 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 do. I suppose, yeah. Does it... Oh, there goes me. There goes my Hellion.
Redemptive.
I can't see this being a success. But there you go. Problem is, I will forever be irritated by this fact. In order to get to the mountain, because I was doing really well the other day, really well. I got through so many areas, and lo and behold, I got right towards the sort of end zone, and it warned me that you need a trophy to be able to go on the mountain. And so I decided, I suppose I'll have to go and get one of those trophies, and I got the shit kicked out of me. And now, this time, I've decided, I tell you what, we'll try and get the trophy early doors, and it kicked the shit out of me. So basically, at all times, this game will forever kick the shit out of you. But still. For my time playing Yu-Gi-Oh games on my DS, that's one of the few things I learned. Yes. Yeah. Card advantage certainly is always good in most of those sort of card games, but still. Ouch. You really didn't have to crit me, you dick. Oh, here's another meltdown. Never mind. Nobody likes you anyway. Oh, you're having a meltdown as well. Tick-tock, tick-tock. I'm going to do a meme on TikTok. Just going to do a meme on TikTok. TikTok, TikTok. Fade to black. He's going to be a lot more difficult now. He's sort of stuck. Although probably more she's going to be difficult because she's going to have to... Actually, she's going to be easier. Although no more fire bombs for her. Do, 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 do. Slice off. No. Nope, it's going to have to be Razor's Whip. So back and forth he goes, back and forth he goes. Resentful. About to interrupt me again. No, she's about to have a pre-designated turn that she's allowed. Where she slaps people with a burning poker. I say that. It looks a bit like a spear, but I think it is meant to be sort of more burning poker. Everybody's at death's door again. Everybody, including him. In fact, oh no, no, he is included in the death's door thing. Death blow is mine.
We will see them again.
No, I don't think we will see them again. Oh, I suppose, yeah, the footman's grog was the item I had on my Hellion. Losing the Hellion is quite something that I didn't want to have happen, but there you go. Let's see, is there, I mean, I feel like the answer is yes, probably, but I quite like him being fast, speedy boy. Speedy boy, speedy boy, speedy boy. I'll give you the footman's grog just in case, and then I suppose we'll just ditch some of these other things so that we can move the vehicle once again. Who needs disease resistance? I sure don't. Unless I get a disease, in which case I'll need disease resistance. Alright, so another battle and then the hospital. Apart from the fact that I don't think we've got enough... we've got 12, so we might be able to do some healing at least. Maybe a partial heal for both. But that's if we survive the next encounter, of course. The torchlight is going down something drastic, of course. Naturally. Why wouldn't it? I think I've played this game too much now. It's become just a bitter, twisted annoyance. Yes, we can all only rely on ourselves. Slice his nards off. Come on, that's... Oh, you resist the bleed. Dickhead. Do. That does be how DD is, yes. This one feels a bit worse. I'm not going to lie, this one feels a little bit worse than the first one even. Because this one feels like the moment you start getting negative relationships, you are in a cascade of failure. And there is no way off that train. Wasn't it a cascade, not a train? Shut up. It's both. It's a train, it's a cascade of trains falling downwards. But yeah, it feels a lot more sort of like, yeah, this is not happening. This is why I wanted them to be bleeding, because cauterize can only happen if they are bleeding. You cannot heal with cauterize if you are not bleeding. I'm ideally going to try and make you bleed. Excellent. I could do with getting rid of the Blisterman, but... yeah, but I've started on the front man, so I might as well finish on the front man. Focus my efforts on trying to whittle his health bar down. But, obviously, in doing so, the Ballistaman is going to whittle my health bar down. Oh, now I definitely don't want to attack him, because he's going to be a problem child. Is there a way of getting rid of that riposte? I don't think there is, to be honest. No. Could start chucking out more laudanum, but still, it's not going to be all that helpful. I suppose we'll try and target the Ballistaman, but then again, I have no real solution. Yeah, they're going to wear off earlier than desirable. Controlled burn. That might be the secret. Yeah. It's not an effective way of getting anywhere, but it is a method, I suppose. Cauterized, they are both bleeding, so I suppose we might be able to get a little bit of health back up there. But yeah, what I've discovered with this game is it's very much sort of... It feels incredibly difficult to get a positive relationship between the group, and yet super easy to let them slide into a negative one. Oh, there goes the Jester. Excellent. Yeah, I mean, I sort of knew this run was doomed from the moment I decided to try and tackle the general. Not the generator, the general. But maybe he generates generals. How many generals could the general generate if a general could generate generals? Not enough.
Is we reach the mountain.
We are not reaching the mountain. We're not reaching the foot. Oh, you're over encumbered. Over my arse. I'm over your shit. I'll get rid of all of those. No point. No point. It's hopeless. See? Their meltdowns even inflict me. Everything's hopeless. There's no point. Purpose. Nothing will ever be good. I'll tell you what, let's go for a story. It's at least something. Also, it's an easy path, but yeah, it's more interesting. We'll get a bit more Bonnie. We'll get a bit more wee Bonnie story. Where, as I say, it feels inevitable that she's going to burn all her parents and family down to the ground, which... Lovely. More darkness, misery, and despair. Thank you, Darkest Dungeon. Bring the mood down. Even more.
By confronting the past,
at least it is Bonnie that survived. We can sort of focus on her. It's pretty good with text erratas to fix some of the older cards, but there's no way to fix everything, I guess. No, that's true. Dispair? No, dat pair. Dispair, dat pair, every pair. Every pair is here. Every pair is there. Okay, here we go. Play with fire. Excellent.
surely there was time to contain the flames.
Amazing. Yeah, okay. So spark a flint. Yeah, there we go. Good burn. Burn. Some people just want to watch the world burn. Feed the flame. Smother the fire. Interesting. Requires the target to be fully erupted. Licking flames. I wouldn't recommend it. Like that one card that made both players swap their deck and graveyard and shuffle the new deck. Oh, I think that was in the anime at some point, wasn't it? I don't know. I'm not sure now. Do you know what? Fuck it. Let's just burn it all down. Destiny, I think, calls for the fact that I'd burn it all down. Everything burns in fire. Fire it all. The flames are here. Send a few things to the graveyard using certain cards and flip them when your opponent has very little in there. Yeah. And just try and stall or slash deck them. Yes. Now see, as I say, I vaguely recall that card. And I feel like I recall it only based on the anime series, but I might be wrong. I don't know if I am supposed to sort of... Oh, there we go, Death Blow. That's probably not how the story ended.
It is a difficult thing
to face the past,
Interesting.
and even more so, to reconcile with it.
Not entirely sure what you're supposed to do there. Maybe I was supposed to try and smother the flames after all. But still. Is it Kaiba who did it in the anime? I feel like it might have been. I don't know. Oh. Oh, of course the torchlight's gone. Fuck's sake. Oh my god. Oh, game. Lick 1,000 dicks. And then write a 1,000-word review on every single one of those dicks. He does it to a Shizu. Or however it's spelled. Ah. It's been relegated to useless. No one even tries to use it. I see. They made it so both graveyards had to have at least 15 cards. Ah, I see. Yeah, no manipulating it. Well, I suppose we can cauterize the wound, but I don't think it's going to be hugely useful at this point. Because unfortunately I've got to face 4 people alone. With no chance at all. A disappointment, to be certain. An inevitable demise. Especially bloody fuckers have got bloody tons of dodge as well. Ugh. I suppose this is the point where you learn where the abandon run button is, I suppose. But there you go. I suppose I'm too obstinately and obnoxiously so to give in to the inevitable conclusion without it actually killing me. I insist that you kill me. I will not give it up to you. No, wait, she does it to him. He sends her deck to the graveyard. And then she pulls a no you on him. Ah.
The greatest test of all.
See, I can't remember that level of fine detail, I don't think. Oh, there we go. Inevitability has struck home once again. And a shit volume of hope. So I unlocked nothing. But what's quite interesting is if you look carefully, I didn't notice this last week, you may have noticed it as yourself, but if we go continue, watch how the camera pans round, I believe, yeah. You pan out and round, and the old destroyed carriage is there, and you end up on your new carriage. Do we have the carriage option here? Yeah, we do. So I did unlock. Not sure. Alright, that's the sort of... Oh, it's interesting. That carriage changes as well, intriguingly enough. Yeah, it's a shame they don't actually name what ones these are. That's sort of a rusty one. That's sort of a marked one. That's a clean one. Rusty, marked. Okay, that's it. So I think that's the rough, raggedy one that I unlocked, and then these ones are just sort of slightly marked. But I suppose we'll start another run at least.
An ocean of emptiness.
Whether we go too far, I don't know, but we'll start another run. Which is basically what this game is. It's start another run, have another go, start another run, have one more go, and eventually it will sort of... It will be one of those ones where you just have to sort of put your hands up and go, yeah, it's not happening, is it? It's not happening. But still. So I don't mind the jester even. I'll tell you what, fuck it. Whoever's present, who do you want to see in the party? You've got the plague doctor, the grave robber, the highwayman, the man at arms, the hellion, the runaway, the jester. Who would you like to see? Formulate a party. I do like the design of the jester. Mostly that mask. That mask is kind of cool. Don't know why I went to the French. Don't know if it's considered the national anthem or something else, but. And you've got the burr 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 burr. Let's find out. 10% damage, that's not great news, but amateur armor smith's not too bad. Shadowborn. the flame is less than 50, 10% damage. There's a sort of... It feels like a contradiction between her sort of general nature and the idea of her being Shadowborn, considering she's actually born in flames, but still. Not literally born in flames, but you know what I mean. Flawed release, -5 crit, that's never good. Devout, loud and proud. The Fetter Explorer, so if we go down the fetters, has sworn off the bottle. Well, that's admirable, sir, admirable. On guard, that's not bad. That's very not bad. But Tuckered Out is very, very not good. Photomania. Dodge if the flame's high, that's not bad. Off guard, it's not too bad either. Unerring, ranged attacks plus 10% damage. Ooh, that's very good. I'll tell you what, as it seems nobody's made a choice, I will make at least a semi-choice here. Now, decisions. I'm slightly tempted to bring the Jester again, but her support skills are not too bad. But only if she's got a person bleeding. So, slightly awkward if there's not a person bleeding, of course. You don't really... Well... That Inspiring Tune's not going to be terrible. I said I liked the look of him, so I think we'll bring him. He might be better off starting in the third row. Because, yeah, he generally speaking, he bounces between those two rows quite a lot. So you do sort of want to be careful who ends up bouncing where for him. And now, shall we go aggressive? I think the Iron Swan. What's the choice between again? I'm assuming there is an immense volume of lag, because I think I've basically already made the party, I'm afraid. So I have now made the party. So I fear the choice has gone. So I apologise, but there must be quite a substantial delay. And eventually you'll get to this bit where I explain that there's a substantial delay, and you'll think, oh, I see, you weren't completely ignoring everything I just said. Oh, you was tabbed out, fair enough then. That's fair. But, yeah, nonetheless, I ended up making a choice. We've got the Plague Doctor, who, I mean, I don't know, maybe I've relied too heavily on him, but I feel like you need the Plague Doctor, because he's the only one who even remotely heals, at the moment at least. I do wonder if unlocking their stories, of course, unlocks their abilities, and therefore, you know, you can get something. Plague Doctor is a she? Fair enough. Yeah, it's difficult to tell in the mask, but I'll take your word for it. I did always consider there being a slight boobage there, but I don't know, for some reason Plague Doctor and Paracelsus, I don't know why I associate that with a manly name, but again, there's no real definitive as to why. Melee attacks plus 20%, yes please. Plus 2% crit, not... You know, I think you're having them both. You do know it's a she, fair enough. You've fondled enough, I take it. Combat items, yes, I mean... Well, we'll take them on board, but I don't necessarily need them. And now... Oh no, I didn't take her, did I? No, that's fair. I don't need to change any manoeuvres, because I've only got this, the one manoeuvres. But it's one of those ones where, despite you telling me that, I'm probably still going to refer to it as a he, because for some reason I have constantly. It's now sort of one of those ones that's slightly stuck in my brain and might take a fair amount of time to unstick my fear. But we'll try and call them sort of Paracelsus or Paracelsus. I can never quite decide whether I feel like it's a hard C or a soft C. I feel like it's Paracelsus with a hard C, but I don't know. I've flitted between the two, so it wouldn't surprise me if at one point in the game I go Paracelsus and one point in the game I go Paracelsus. Arguably I should have renamed her Pringle. Maybe I'll rename her Woman, and then I'll remember.
A change in the air.
I'm not going to do that, by the way, just in case you wondered.
Echoes of allies reverberating in the void.
Well, they can shut up, can't they?
You see,
I don't want them reverberating in my voids.
is not immune to the spreading.
God damn, it's the hard version of this fight. I say hard version, I mean... It's because usually it's just the two ghouls, and the Widow is sort of every now and again. But anytime it's more than one fight, of more than one opponent, it's hard fucking work. Now, interestingly enough, having Dismas and the Jester's quite nice, because he's got the Duelist's Advance. So I can swap them quite nicely. Plus, he functions very well on both those middle slots, so he's going to work very nicely in conjunction with the Jester. Oh, it's fucking itself again, excellent. I mean, there was a player on Team Lad, so why not? Oh, surely you should rename her Pringlia, yeah, I suppose technically. But yeah, apparently the internet's dying on its arse again. I'm beginning to wonder if it's a technical issue, but... Well, I mean, it's definitely a technical issue, I suppose, but... I'm beginning to wonder precisely what that technical issue is is actually doing. Whether it's a hardware issue or something. Very annoying. But there you go, see, he's gone forward one. Now, what I can do with my boy Dismas is launch him forward with the Duelist's Advance. And therefore they're back in the positions. Not that it makes that much difference, but... Yeah. Oh, there was a person called Lad. And I'm assuming a woman called Lad on a team. It's not unreasonable. Slice. I will slice you down. It's amazing. This first fight kind of makes you feel quite powerful. Like you can win. Which I suppose is the point. Don't get me wrong, I do understand the con job that they're pulling. They're lulling you into a false sense of security, making you think you can actually do things. No, I'm going to have to just slice through one of the corpses, unfortunately. Less than optimal, but not terrible either. Razor's Whip, we can move you back forward. That's the other... He's a weird fighter. He's a weird fighter. But there are benefits, because like when they reposition me, I can reposition him straight back. So his capacity for repositioning is kind of nice, kind of cool. Just it also makes it slightly awkward and weird. He's a mixed bag, our Jester fella. No, but I am stirred. I'm a funny man. I'm a man funny, as opposed to a man spider, or a man thing, or a mandingo. The first in, and the mountain looming in the distance. I mean, as much as I sort of start loathing the game for its inevitable failure, it is a fucking incredible game, truth be told. We don't really need health. Dodge tokens, well, I do feel like the Hellion is sort of the one doing the most work, so dodge tokens makes a degree of sense. Now, do we want to just burn cards for the sake of lowering... Oh no, that's just improving... Oh, good. Oh, that's not what I thought it was. I thought it was a stress relief. No, I'll just use them then. Does seem like... Oh, no, there was a negative for Sarmenti, I think. But positives all round elsewhere, I believe. That is not how you play a loot, by the way. You don't traditionally play a loot with a knife. I don't know if that's something anybody was aware of, but you don't tend to. Now, I can't deny, I often upgrade the Wicked Slice first, because the Wicked Slice is possibly one of the best moves I've found in the game, to be honest. It just seems very effective. But, equally, Battlefield Medicine's a very good one. Ounce of Prevention's a very good one. But I don't what. You're going to have to help me out a little bit. What prompted the question? You don't. I don't think there's anything for her that's particularly great for upgrading. But I can't know. Let's have a look. The inspiring tune. Oh no, Battlefield Ballad first. Remove combo. That's not bad. That is not bad. 15% chance of a super attack, I think that is. And that one, yeah, okay. Stress plus 5 is still the caveat. It does now remove horror, though, if I upgraded the inspiring tune. I am slightly tempted to do the prevention one. Because that was quite useful, trying to sort of drag their sanity levels back to acceptable. Because it really is, it's the sanity that gets you, for the most part. We might as well pop that in there. And now, right. Did we have... It doesn't matter. But I'm going to check anyway. I could have sworn... No, it was someone else. Okay, that's fine. The Blood Moon. Win a cultist battle. Oh, I don't want to. Avoid the hospital. Oh, I don't want to. Oh, I don't want any of that. I could just travel through the sluice, but I think for now, do you know what? I'm gonna go with that sort of hands up. Fuck it, I'm not gonna win. Let's just gather as much hope as possible.
City.
So I realise it's slightly weird, isn't it? Of course, by throwing your hands up in despair and going, I don't care. I'll just go after hope. There's a perfect irony in that sentiment, but still. Anyway, yes, I fear you're going to have to. Again, I'm assuming there's an element of lag, perhaps. But you might have to explain the you don't question. You don't play. Oh, you don't, as in you don't play a loop. Play a loop with a knife. Yeah. No, I don't traditionally. Right. Okay. So you want to go to the mystery. You want to go for a fucking fight. Resistance encounter at this point might not be terrible, as choices go, and that does lead to the cultist encounter, which would be, yeah, okay, resistance to watchtower. Yeah, okay, I'll go with that. You've been doing it all wrong all these years, yeah. No, you're going to do your strings of mischief if you start playing a loop with a knife. That's why you only ever get one set, and they don't invite you back. Because basically, what you do is you get your loot out and you go, twang. Thank you. That's unfortunately. Or would you like an encore? Okay, I've got a few more strings. Twang, twang, twang. And then you have to go, and that's all I've got for you tonight. Else I would need to string another loot. It's weird. I've never understood why people enjoy playing the loot, because it costs a fortune in strings. Right, what we got? So we got. Now, I'm fairly confident, yeah, vulnerable is a good thing, so how fragile they appear before our solidarity. So yes, I think it would be wise to use her opening, as it were. Maybe don't say that out loud. I want to use your opening, you bastard. You're not allowed to use my opening. My opening is sacred to me. Alright, are you... Oh, you're a shaman. I still think it might be worthwhile getting rid of you. This is why I've started quite liking the Hellion, because of that sort of ability to take out something from the back. And that was entirely necessary. If you've seen the General, he is a bastard boss. I mean, they're all going to be bastard bosses, I suppose, but the General felt particularly so. Now, shall we... Oh, because nobody's stressed enough for it. It's fine. Who are you, sir? You're you, sir. Okay. Not a whole lot I can do about that, sir. I suppose we could raise his wit. You've got a hell of a lot of stuff on you, haven't you? Let's go after the boy in the middle. That's the one. And then we'll go after the boy in the middle again. Or one of the boys in the middle. I suppose technically they're both in the middle. The twins in the middle. I don't really want them hanging around. Oh, I've been blinded! Oh no, that's going to be such a bad thing for my boy. Oh wait, I don't think that boy cares. He's not that fussed about being able to see. I suppose arguably they're all fussed about being able to see, but shoot that man there. Get rid of him. A dead thing is a good thing. Ignite! Oh, he's set himself on fire. Also probably now going to set me on fire as well, I suppose. Which is frustrating, to say the least. I think we'll deal with the easier target first, although that doesn't always work out in my favour. Let's grab an ounce of prevention. It's not going to do anything for my stress levels at this point, but I'm fairly certain that did include flame. Yeah, includes a bit of resistance to the flame, so hopefully I will not burn to death. Okay, he's putting riposte on himself, which is slightly problematic. Let's Razor's Wit in the front boy. And then let's Duelist's Riposte. Or Duelist's Advance, sorry. It gets you riposte. Unfortunately, he's not been targeted, but that's not... You know, shh. Don't make problems where there are none. Slice that man. Wicked Slice. A slice of the wickedness. Does that do bleed and burn? Yes, it does. Get rid of both of those.
At last.
And that's why you bring a Plague Doctor. Unfortunately, this is why... This is why you bring a Man-at-Arms. Because he could bellow that off, unfortunately. I don't... Okay, I can do the tracking shot, but he's going to riposte me, isn't he? No, he's not. Okay, that's fine. I've got to figure out a way of destroying him without destroying him. Which is very difficult. The only one, I think, that could bypass riposte is either the bellow from the soldier fella, Man-at-Arms, or you would need the runaways burn the area, not the man. Because the moment I touch the man is going to touch me. I don't want to be touched by the man. But I suppose that could work as an option. It does leave her in a slightly worse off state, but it will weaken him so that at least when he does riposte me, he will potentially not do much. I can dodge things more. I'm thinking too much. It hurts. Don't like it. It's not usually what I do. I don't do the thinking thing. Let's try and cure the burn there. I'm thinking and strategizing. I don't like it. It's not pleasant. Well, he no longer has the bloody thing. He's also blinded, which is a problem. I suppose if he doesn't hit, I don't think he gets riposted. But yeah, I don't necessarily want him going forward again, but he is probably the best choice for this. Unfortunately, not the case here, but still. Tracking shot's not going to help me. I think at this point, I'm just going to have to take it. Just take the riposte. And does that's the one that gets him another riposte. Oh, don't you just hate your life? Yeah, riposte, that's predicted, but slightly calculated by the fact that I could gain the health back. Now, as long as we go first, which we do, Wicked Slice. Get rid of the boy. Eliminate the boy from this domain. Boxing gloves, yes. Clotting powders. We'll have a look at my inventory and check if I've got anything that's worth equipping. Combat items. We do have a couple of combat items. You can have some clotting powder, and you can have some milk soaked linen. That's in items. That's nothing else there. So away we go again. And I believe it's the watchtower, or have we not? Nope. Yeah, that was the battle. Now we want to go to the watchtower, find out what's ahead of me, and then we'll perhaps do. I'll perhaps do the cultist battle, and then pop it away until next week. Well, I suppose in terms of
The worst
no, I'm going to play it myself, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Nonsense and pointlessness. the name of my autobiography, I suppose. Right, let's... I mean, in terms of these guys... Crack shot... Yeah, I mean, there's no optimal target, I don't think. There's nothing that needs to die. They all need to die. So... I might as well at least focus fire on that guy now that I've started. Unfortunately, it's going to be slightly difficult because I should have just gone for the first 2 ranks. Could Iron Swan, but... is Iron Swan exactly the same? Oh, interesting. Just, you can either do it from the front or do it from the rear. We'll just slam it down on the front with her fella. Might as well. Ow, could you not do stuff like that? It's quite obnoxious to be sure. And that's resistance, I don't really need that. Just throw down the old blight on you, sir, and hope you kill yourself. No, he's not going to kill himself, I'll kill him for him. I think that's a sensible plan of action. Oh, goodbye. Is that just General, you're off? That's fair enough. Off for dinner or off for other purposes? But nonetheless, goodbye. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. Enjoy your dinner. Look forward to it. I certainly look forward to mine. Slicey dicey. Hope that your dinner... I can't access my inventory. I was going to say, hope that it's not sort of that horrible green goop that they eat in this one, but I'd have shown you a picture, but I can't because I can't access the inventory here. Right, let's see. Well, he stands the most chance of dying, which is good. You, let's just do the calculation. You should die by yourself, so let's focus my aim on this guy. No guarantees he'll die himself, but you sometimes just have to hope for the best. I'll try and blind that guy so when he takes an attack at me, he won't actually shoot me. He did die by himself, good lad. It's what we like to see. Here we like to see things. You can't attack the back. You have no capacity to attack the back. Okay, well, what we'll do... Yeah, it requires 5+. So yeah, okay, he's on 5. So I could do that. Yeah, I think that's probably the best bet, to be honest. An inspiring tune, reduce my stress. Try desperately to keep them not stressed so that they don't lose everything. Lose their fucking minds to this place. Surprisingly difficult to keep them not stressed. But there you go. Ba-da-ba-dee. With a ba-da-ba-doo. And tally-ho! Here we go. Off we go. I said I'll do the cultist encounter, so... Oh, it's Watchtower first, then cultist encounter. That's fine.
Always made clear.
We'll see how badly the cultist encounter eradicates my health bars. And then eventually we'll... as I say, after the cultist encounter, I'll probably put it away.
The avatars of oblivion.
Unfortunately, oh, this is going to be two bows, isn't it? I might change my mind then. We might do this one and then put it away after. Oh god, elite enemies again. Fuck me. Fuck me sideways. Fuck me leftways. Fuck me whichever way you feel is appropriate at the given time. Hopefully we'll at least blitz that dude down. No, not quite. Oh, no, we might have. The Blight could kill. It stands a chance. No guarantees, but it stands a chance. Ow! Ah, good. Very much did exactly what I wanted it to do. Oh yeah, you have to be at the front for that one. Oh, but I can now do if it bleeds. Which I don't know. Toe-to-toe doesn't necessarily feel like the smartest of choices, but I want her back in position, so I might as well. The taunt is the reason why it's not the smartest of decisions. Let's just try and blitz this front dude, because they're all I don't think their damage levels are so amazingly sort of different that it's worthwhile targeting a specific individual in this group. Don't get me wrong, some groups, you know, you want to fuck one of them up long before they fuck you up, but in this one, it's a little less sort of obvious. I might want to do the tune to give her sanity back. Also, that was nasty, so maybe actually the shooty boys are the worst. They've got a fancy special effect that I didn't need in my life. We'll shoot the back one because he's going to be the easier one to kill, oddly enough. And then, I'll tell you what. Oh, shit, I can't... Oh, because she can't go forward. Oh, darn. I thought that was a way around that, but it turns out they'd thought of that. They thought, no, you're not allowed to move them forward if they can't go forward. Which is weird, because usually you can. In terms of, like, you know, using their moves, like Rampart from the fella is very much you can just ignore the fact that the forward is there if you're all the way forward. But yeah, you can't on his tune. Oh, but now I could really do with that tune coming up. Of course, the Hellion is sometimes. The Hellion had to be slightly quicker than the Jester. On the one turn, I needed the Jester to be quicker than the Hellion. Bring the blade down. I think, I'll tell you what, we'll still do it. It's just not as optimal as the previous situation. Unfortunately, we are just hemorrhaging our health bars again, which is a problem. I did upgrade that, so we can, if we do that, that's going to deal with some stress. Hopefully, they've got very limited health left, so with a bit of luck we can deal with this. I feel like removing your stress is going to be very useful. Again, just this desperate urge to try and keep stress levels down. Now, you've got bonus strength. Come on. Good girl. That's what we wanted to do. And yeah, I was going to do one more battle, and that is one more battle. So, we'll quit out and leave it there. And if I do... Oh, that's one of those ones where the camera in a less than optimal position, because it looked like it had gone off, but it hadn't. Anyway, we will, yeah, just exit the game. Over to the desktop. That's not a problem. That's not a thing. And now let's go to the interim slideshow and see what happens. This may go horribly wrong, because, as previously mentioned, the internet is an asshole. The internet is an ass. The internet is an asshole. Oh, yes, indeed. There's no doubting. The internet's an asshole. There's no doubting. The internet is an ass. We'll do a raid, because there is someone we might as well raid into. I don't know how many people we got. Looks like we got maybe 2, which is... it's for a raid. It's not, you know, I do appreciate you being here. I'd like to just point out. So, yeah. Yeah, in terms of going into someone's channel and sort of going for a raid, it's a bit sort of meh. But anyway, tonight you have got the options of Mr. Malice Caliber.
Someone went out into a field or into a stable and they were like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna gather up me some horse shit. And so what he did was he didn't put on any gloves because he's a horrible, disgusting human being. And he was just like, right, just scooping all this horse shit into his hands. He was like, yeah, get all the horse shit in the room. And the horses were looking at him like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Horse impression. Anyway, so he's gathering up all the shit and he's piling it together and he's like, yeah, this is great. Right, now for my masterpiece. So he starts squidging it down. He's like, he's pushing on it, and it's resistant because it's a couple of days old now, so it's getting a bit crusty and flaky. So it doesn't really want to squish down properly. But he gives, bless him, he gives it his all. He uses all of his fucking Zeus-given strength. And he's like, and the horse shit compresses down into a video game. And that video game is Cry of Fear, and he's like, perfect.
It's a shame that cut off. Just if it could have been that fraction of a second longer, you'd have gotten the word perfect. completely. But still, your other option at 9 o'clock is Mr. Can't Sleep Must Paint.
Dicks!
Indeed, dicks. Stop
Excellent
dicking
dicks.
in my ears.
Nobody will ever stop dicking in your ear. And the gentleman we're about to go and see is Mr. Albioncraft.
I'd just like to point out the CSMP ain't here. I mean, all the support and that I give him. He never turns up to my streams, but that's fine. Whatever. I just called him out.
I had a distinct impression that might have been Can't Sleep who actually did that clip, which would have been quite amusing, but still. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna. Oh, I need the name. I mean, arguably, I could just type it, but copying and pasting usually gets it more accurate. But yes, we'll. Right, I will say cheerio, and then I'll do the raid, and then I'll turn the stream off. So here goes nothing. Cheerio.